Oh, geez. You always got
Sorry.
to ruin it.
I got to ruin it for everybody. That's how I roll. But all right. So interesting. Those of you who may have checked out the movie from the video from last time, will remember that the last time we played, you guys finished up the battle in the warehouse, in Sergei's warehouse, where he had stored Melvin. By the time you got there, got it, Eric. Understand completely. I don't know if he's probably got us on mute. He's trying to put the baby to bed. So, she's like all of Eric's children. She desperately wants to stay awake and play with us. So
I miss Warren. Let him know.
It's like cigarettes. You got to hook them while they're young.
Yep, exactly. So last time you guys were. Be right back. Okay. So you guys were in the warehouse engaging in a variety of interesting gunfights, sometimes with Ursay, sometimes with, at one point you fought a robot drone that was protecting Melvin in his tank. However, the drone threatened to detonate some charges on the bottom of the tank and release Melvin.
The bastard did.
And you guys said, we don't believe that you don't have the stones to do it. And he was like, I'm a robot. I don't care. And you guys shot at him, and he ended up with a dead man switch on the thing and exploded. Melvin got out. And for it seemed none the worse for wear for his time in the tank, which has been weeks now. But he got out and immediately began talking to Coffin Doyle.
I don't remember that part. I thought we killed Melvin.
Well, it's coming. Coffin suffered massive amounts of psychic damage from talking with Melvin, to which Mehmet ran over and tried to not only rescue Coffin, but also get Melvin's attention and try to convince Melvin through pantomime and sign language that they meant him no harm and that this was all a grievous mistake, at which point Melvin turned his attentions to Mehmet, also causing massive psychic damage in the process. Coffin did not despite Coffin being woozy, unable to think clearly, and generally suffering from what looked to be some sort of weird version of Space Bell's palsy, lit up Melvin to defend his friend and colleague Mehmet to the point of, I believe, he opened up on him with the laser machine gun, got 4 hits, massive damage, and essentially cut Melvin in half and killed him. The pieces loaded.
His gun empty now?
No, he's still got battery.
What I recall from that battle is me hiding behind a truck for cover, Doyle driving away with truck, and me getting shot almost fatally. So I want to make sure I finish him off. I'm going to coup de grace him in the tunnel as soon as I see him.
One of the things I couldn't remember was if Weber has also been partially healed by application of Dr. Wagner's special medicine.
I believe Dr. Wagner gave me some of the good stuff.
The good stuff, the ketamine base. Both you and Captain Black, I believe. So not only
a little bit of tiger penis, and an elixir,
and a whole lot of ketamine and some opiates. Well, both Captain Black and Weber have been shot, drugged, and now Weber's driving the truck.
Wait a minute. Were there usable pieces of Melvin?
Melvin was loaded in the back of the truck. So as you guys peeled out of this warehouse, you have an open. Did
anyone check for resellable parts?
No one at this point. It was all very confused there at the end.
Well, we have the whole body. You don't have to check for the parts yet. We're taking the whole body with us.
You've taken the whole thing.
And I called Sergei, as I recall, and gave him 12 coins to clean it up like it never even happened.
Right. So as you guys were
Serve Pro.
As you guys were leaving the warehouse, a unmarked gravity van showed up. 4 guys got out, started cleaning stuff, spraying antiseptic foam on the blood stains that you've left over there, then pulled everything in and closed the door behind them, ostensibly to clean up the mess you'd made. Sergei also called Weber back, told them that he had arranged for you guys to go to a safe house, gave you the station coordinates so that you wouldn't necessarily be driving around in an open-top truck, a stolen open-top truck with a dead alien in the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guys, no matter how much it costs, there's nothing better than a John Wick cleanup team cleaning up after our messes.
Yeah, you got to pay them in those special coins, though.
You got to spend.
I
I have a feeling there's going to be other stuff payment in that way. Well, anyway, the coordinates led you to a sort of what looked at first glance to be sort of an empty office park. You know, a lot of sort of defunct looking storefronts. Sergei had advised Weber to drive around to the back, where you found that there was an area where you could pull in, made for a much larger gravity vehicle, but gave you the code for the thing so that you could get off the street. And essentially what you guys do is you find yourselves about 20 minutes later, after all this has gone on, turning off the engine of the grab truck and letting it slowly sink down to the ground, and finding yourself in the eerie silence of an empty, not warehouse, but like an office complex. There's a little bit of warehouse where it's obvious that trucks would come in and load. I mean, there's a bank where, the raised backs of the trucks would come up to. But a quick scope around reveals it to be like a 4-room office. There's a couple of cubicles in a bigger room with what looked to be unpowered video terminals, a reception desk, a front door that leads onto the outside companionway, which has blinds. It's all covered in no see-through things, so it can't be seen through from the outside. You can see over in the corner there's the remnant of some takeout food boxes, that have been left there for a while. So your guess is that Sergei has used this place before.
Is there any edible food in the containers?
No, just crumbs. And it's as you look at it, it's obviously been there for a while.
We got DoorDash,
There's dust on
it. DoorDash to the safe house, please. What are you guys doing?
All right. So you're pretty far from where the Gin and Tonic is parked. Probably 30 minutes by grab truck, 45 by walking. You've got a dead Melvin in the back. You've got at least 2 people, Mehmet and Weber, who are suffering from the effects of having had Melvin basically inside their heads. They've got massive headaches. They're sort of staggering around a bit. They seem completely worn out, and they don't have a ton of hit points. I'm sorry, that's Coffin and Mehmet, not Weber and Mehmet. Weber and the captain have been both shot and dosed with a little serum, so a little tussin. So they are not.
Rub that in there. Rub that tussin in there.
Not entirely compos mentis, and certainly could use some medical attention.
Fine, thank you very much.
Yeah, that's not helping.
Do we have enough time for me to attend to at least give them field medicine or better? Okay.
Absolutely. Yep, and you've got your tools with you. I mean, your med kit. You can scan these things. So, the captain and Weber, you've got them dosed with ketamine. You've done some field work on them at the warehouse. You can sink a few stitches in them. Doesn't look like they have any bullets in them that you have to extract. I think they were both attacked with either lasers or small caliber fire. So. So no bullets that you need to extract, but they both have, they're both suffering from blood loss. They're both pretty doped up, which means, and you're pretty well aware that they've got about probably 20 to 30 minutes of stand-up time left before the opiates kick in, and they're going to go Betty bye.
All right, but everyone's stable enough.
They're stable enough, yeah. You've sunk a few stitches in them. You got them adhesive shut. They're not going to bleed anymore. They've lost some blood, and they're full of painkillers. So yeah, they're going to go to sleep very soon.
All right, now I need to make sure that Melvin is properly iced.
Don't we have an appointment in a few hours with security?
Yeah, at about 7. Well, actually, so tonight it's about. Local time, it's about 1 in the morning because you guys went over there about midnight local time. Your appointment with the Terran Legal Authority is the next day. So it's today, but it's not till like 6 p.m. local. It's after normal business hours. As befits the sort of informal arrangements.
Mentally damaged crew members, one with missing an arm. one, 2 shot guys, and a doctor who's got like, I'm visualizing you sort of like Dennis Hopper in Blue Velvet, where you've got the ether mask on your face.
Heineken, fuck that shit.
All right, so you do a quick triage on do you want to take a look? I tell you what, give me your med check for Mehmet and Coffin as you look over to him. Okay. Give me one for each. Oh, so which one is that? Is that Coffin or Mehmet?
Coffin.
Coffin. All right. So his exertions have reopened his arm wound. Hey, Steve.
Oh, hey, Steve.
Oh, space stranger.
Welcome, Steve.
He's only an observer.
He's here merely as an observer on behalf of the Terran Interstellar Legal Authority. So you check it out. So Coffin's exertions have, especially firing a multiple round laser, essentially squad weapon with one hand, Rambo style, have reopened some of the sutures on his arm. So he's losing a little blood there. But what's worse is that a quick head CT indicates that he's got some, brain damage is too strong a word. There's you can see that some very small capillaries have been burst, which is causing a little bit of a subdermal hematoma, which he's got some bleeding in between the brain and the skull, which if continues and doesn't heal properly would be a problem. Also, there is some what we would call potentially a brain inflammation of some sort, not an infection per se, but because you could detect no evidence of any sort of infection in there, but you do see that there is some level of brain inflammation that would normally accrue if he had an infection, but a quick serum test indicates that there's no infection in any of the spinal fluids. So you're not sure why that's happening. It might be in response to the capillary damage.
Really interesting. Does he seem stable enough to make
he seems disoriented. He's speaking, but it's sometimes his words are make sense, and sometimes he sort of rambles off.
He's normal.
He is so basically normal, and so he is suffering from some minor paralysis to the right side of his face.
Yeah, if his index finger just keeps twitching constantly, he's feeling fine.
Do I have any leeches on me in my kit?
Space leeches? I don't know. They're probably back on the ship.
Okay.
Give them their proper name. It's sleeches.
Leeches. That's it.
Flea stacks.
And capillaries. That must be how they pronounce it 500 years in the future. Is capillaries. Yeah.
Capillaries. This emphasis is on it's the British pronunciation.
No, we're just pillarying you.
By all means,
throw some sleeches on them.
Don't worry, I'm building an army of Ursay for every one of these insults that you throw me.
That's why I don't correct him anymore. I stopped it.
You guys don't cut it out. I'm gonna put you back in Colonel Seventide's ship. We'll do some more hunting.
I'm just positive that Doyle's gonna kill me before the Bears ever get a chance. Where is he? He's off to put his child to bed. All right, I can't even bust his chops.
Damn it! I didn't realize that when I busted his chops.
There are some
wasting the original material here.
There is some medicine that you can give that will help reduce the inflammation. The capillaries, if you're from the South, are going to either going to knit on their own or they're going to get worse. You're not sure what's going to happen yet. You kind of have. There's not much you can do. It's not like you can do microsurgery. You could, if you had them back on the ship, you could maybe do some brain microsurgery. And you were already planning on doing some brain surgery on Coffin as it is, because you're still hoping to install his neural lace. But you were planning on doing that once you guys got spaceborne and into jump space, because he's going to need like a 2-week recovery period for that. And you were also going to attach a cybernetic arm. But if he keeps shooting off squad level automatic laser weapons with one arm,
while driving.
He's gonna keep opening that arm up, and it's gonna cause problems. It's gonna get infections. You know how these space stations are. They're filled with MRSA.
Doc, you might want to put like a Z5 Beeblebrock's third arm on him. Just give him a spare.
Right in the middle.
Well, I will, but only if I can program it so I can do the stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
Yeah. Like
Otherwise,
Dr. Strangelove kind of arm.
I'm not touching you. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
The Eric's not going to know any of this, but yeah, no. I mean, once you get the neural lace in, you can put in controllers and cutouts that would theoretically control a chest-mounted third arm.
Ooh, backdoors.
That is a doable thing. Sort of like when you installed that targeting camera in the back of your head.
Yep. That was.
I expect it says Ring on it when you open it up.
Yeah, Amazon's giving all your video away to the cops.
Yeah, that's why I always have to turn away when
you commit crimes.
Yeah.
All right, but you guys are so give me another roll to check out. Okay, Eric's back. We got to stop talking about the third arm thing.
Eric, you missed all the good stuff.
All right, give me another med check as you check out Mehmet.
Okay.
11. Mehmet doesn't. So at this point, you know kind of what to look for. And Mehmet has largely some of the same stuff. Not the missing arm, but he does have the capillary damage. He does have the sort of lining of the brain inflammation, whatever that's called. He's not suffering as badly as Coffin from this sort of like paralyzation in the face, but he does have his eyes drooping quite a bit, and he also is having trouble speaking incoherent sentences.
And he keeps wandering off camera, so.
And he keeps wandering off camera. You don't have to. Don doesn't have need to have brain damage to do that.
Hey, I'm making sure I prop myself up next to where Captain Black is, and I'm passing my flask of Pappy Van Winkle back and forth.
Oh, what was it called? What's
called? What's the good stuff called, guys?
It was Tuffickian bourbon.
Yeah.
Tuffickian bourbon from Tuffick. Yeah, no, you guys had cases of that stuff.
Walk into a bar. One of them turns together.
The first one should have done.
I got a flask that it's a never-ending flask of Tuffickian bourbon. Don't ask where it comes from.
The reload.
Say, at least I have the decency to walk away from the camera rather than just show our belt like Steve is doing.
I hope you got some fries to share with that shake.
It's an apron.
And it's all going to be on YouTube tomorrow, boys. So just, So I mean, you've got some, Dr. Wagner, you have some damaged crewmen. But right now you're in what seems to be a relatively safe spot. You're kind of far away from the Gin and Tonic, and you wish you can talk to Gin over neural lace, but in a system you're using station resources, which means if people are tracking you or trying to find you, they'll know if you were talking to the ship. So that's something to keep aware of. I mean, it might be worth risking it, but the ship's still in dry dock. Now, according to Sergei, it's pretty much done from the point of view of all the modifications are being made. Mehmet is still trying to find out if Jin's got a problem, but so far no joy there.
Remind me, do we get the ship's weapons put on? Is that what we're here for? Or we have to go somewhere else for that?
The ship's weapons and the camouflage, the ship's camouflage. Nice. They have been installed, and the appropriate upgrades have been made to your ship's AI to help control
gender reassignments, reprogramming.
Yeah, now it's Jill instead of Jin.
Nice. All right. Well, I guess we're waiting to hear if Doc feels we can get moved, and then I'll come up with a cunning plan to get us back to the ship.
Well, I would suggest us moving as quickly as possible. While they're stable, it's not going to last for a long time. Enough to get them back to the ship.
In this ship here, okay, here's my issue. We can take our injured people back to the ship, but it's going to raise questions. We take a dead alien on the ship, it's going to raise more questions. I'd much rather have the Terran police interrogation or whatever they're calling it behind us before we pull that shenanigans, right? I'm not sure how we hide our injuries unless we just roll into the
well, there's not much hiding a missing arm.
Well, his arm's been missing for a while.
Well,
yeah, it's true. It's a good point.
Yeah,
it's been missing since
Infirmaries or
Tufik.
surgery
Yeah.
centers
She
nearby.
asked about like, hey man, he was like that when we saw him.
Well, so you guys, I mean, Dr. Wagner's potions are quality medicals, but you guys will probably be over the initial effects of it. It wears off in probably 12 hours. And it does, and to give Dr. Wagner's credit, it does speed healing significantly. Theoretically, since the captain and Weber, you guys have only been shot. You might be able to fake it. And you guys are the two guys that they probably want to talk to at TILA. So
if I get a clean cape and some fresh bourbon, I'll probably be fine.
Probably pour a little bourbon on that.
To get my little my Lando Calrissian half cape, my dress cape there to head to the meeting.
And frankly, if the pain is too great, Dr. Wagner can probably help with that.
I powdered tiger penis.
Yep, just rack it in. The bigger problem is potentially Coffin and Mehmet, who, frankly, you're not sure how long they're going to be discombobulated. There is some interior damage. You can treat the symptoms, but right now you don't know exactly what's wrong with them, other than some capillary damage and a minor brain inflammation. But it's not an infection.
What's the name of the guy that's helping us make the changes to the ship?
Sergei.
So we got to get back to Sergei anyway. So we could ask him if he's got the inside line on a medical facility we might be able to borrow to get to do work on them.
Well, the one on the Gin and Tonic is pretty substantial. You remember a couple of ventures ago.
What you're asking for is
we upgraded. Yep.
We need a
I know we upgraded, but I agree with Matt's comment about we can't be doing the surgery while the Terran Authority is coming to interview us.
Well, we're going to them, but still,
you're going to them. They've set an appointment at their offices for 6 p.m. tonight. It's 1 a.m. now, or 1:30 a.m.
Here's where we go.
Matt, you and I will go then. That's good.
Yeah, here's where we go, Doc. Here's what we're going to do. Dr. Wagner, there's got to be some sort of space virus or sickness, especially after we got off the Tufikian planet there. You say you're going to hold them for monitoring because they show some symptoms you're concerned with, so they have to be in isolation for a couple days. But Doctor, the Cap and I check out, right? And you can send us off.
Okay, I think I can do that. I think that's.
It works for COVID. It's got to work in space too, right?
Well, I mean, if you guys are talking about the stuff that was on Tufik, if you have to tell people that you might have been exposed to fungus zombie to cordyceps, space cordyceps, that's Cymbeline may not be too enthusiastic about that. The Cymbeline authorities.
You just sneeze and you open your hand to have a bunch of sunflower seeds in there.
Like a handful of filberts. Here you go. Yeah. Sorry.
Burn him.
But yeah, I mean, you might
gotta do some scans or something.
Yeah, you might. I mean, it could work. What might be a more difficult problem is how you get an open top truck with a dead alien in it from here to the Gin and Tonic. It's about
we need Winston Wolfe in Pulp Fiction. This is exactly the thing we called him in for in Pulp Fiction. Yeah, remember
he says it's a 30-minute drive from there for me to get there. I'll be there in 10.
Yeah, exactly. I work fast. I talk fast.
Gin and Tonic is like, please would be nice. I'm sorry if I'm gruff. All right, so you've got a bit of a problem now. You're in an empty office building with a dead alien in the truck. A couple of guys who are not thinking clear. Well, several guys who are not thinking clearly. Basically, Dr. Wagner is in charge.
So
here's your moment, Andrew. Your moment to shine.
Dun, dun, dun.
Break out the tiger penises. It's go time.
All right, I guess. Is this truck serviceable enough to try to make it to Sergei?
It'll absolutely get to anywhere on the station. The truck is fine. It's just covered in alien blood right now.
Well, I'm a doctor. I can explain that. I have the charisma of an earthworm, but
there's stuff in here. Maybe we can dress it up, cover him up, tarp it up, bag it up, whatever we need to.
Yeah, and we need to ice Melvin.
So maybe the walking wounded could do that. Well, the zombified people can just sit there and drool for a minute while we work.
So you and the captain kind of look around there, and you do find a couple of things: some papers, old cardboard boxes that can be cut up and sort of draped over the top. Yeah. You manage after about a half an hour, you manage to scrape together enough stuff where, frankly, it's not going to pass a detailed examination, but it does cover the majority of the blood in the back.
Okay. And I draw red.
That's all you can ask for in an automobile, to cover the majority of the blood in the back. All right.
And then I start going, woo, 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 woo.
All right. I think this is good enough. So if I'm cognizant to drive, then I'll be happy to drive. If not, Doc might have to drive. But
wait, the captain's right here.
Oh yeah. Are you confident to drive? I think you're less shot than I am. I'm pretty effed up.
Both of you are starting to feel the soporific effects of the Dr. Wagner special.
It's not wearing off yet.
It's not wearing off. It's not going to wear off for several hours.
We're hitting that Rocky Mountain high.
Well, what is this is the adrenaline rush of being in a gunfight is now over. The ketamine based keep them on your feet aspect of it is wearing down, and now
we call that Tuesday.
The soporific effects of the painkillers are starting to kick in. So you're starting to feel pretty sleepy.
All right.
Well, we got time to take a quick nap, right?
Yeah, Doc, hit me with a Red Bull. Let's do this.
I mean, you guys feel like, Sergei wouldn't have sent you here if he didn't think it was safe, or at least purported it to be safe.
But we still need to get to the interview, though, in about 5 hours, right?
No. Like 17 hours, 6 p.m. It's about 2 a.m.
Okay. All right.
And we really want this job.
Well, basically, they're saying, look, what TILA wants to talk to you about is basically the guy you were talking to, whose name escapes me, but I remember it being quite rude. Was that the URSA had filed a formal complaint about your actions on Greenprint, about killing some of their guys and stuff like that with the Terran Legal Authority. The guy called you, and I'll find his name here in a second. The guy called you guys and basically said, look, we've looked at their complaints. We really don't have a ton of Keeve Smitchy is the Terran's guy, Keeve. Keeve Smitchy called you back and said, look, we've run it through our things. The URSA really have no legal authority to make a complaint of actions taken on Greenprint that were outside of their legal jurisdiction. Now, if Greenprint Authority had done so, it might be a different story. But we got a call from a guy named Bill. Yeah. We got a call from a guy named Bill Scaramouche on Greenprint, who said that that largely the URSA complaint was how shall we say, non-factual.
What's an URSA complaint? I mean, shouldn't Greenprint be all over our case, because URSA basically were committing sabotage all over their station?
Well, I think that probably had something to do with it, and we're assuming that Bill Scaramouche is overlooking the fact that you guys hold their hull with what later turns out, at least theoretically, turned out to be some sort of weird antimatter explosion, contained, a very contained but abrupt antimatter explosion. Which
we blame a certain retired general. We're happy to give them any state's evidence they need.
Giving them up? You giving up the general? That's brutal.
Yeah.
But yeah, according to Smitchy from TILA, the Greenprint, this Scaramouche guy at Greenprint basically said the URSA complaint did not have a lot of merit. And then basically said, look, it's an effort for the URSA to try and put onto you guys something that they did, which they're going to have to answer to Greenprint authorities about. And you'll recall that several of the URSA were ejected from Greenprint, were asked to leave Greenprint Station and go back, as were you guys. So they basically just like, all right, enough is enough. Everybody off.
I thought we killed them.
we killed several, but remember,
the herd of URSA on board.
That comes to another thing, right? So the one guy that you guys hated, the guy that you originally got in trouble with, the URSA, whose name escapes me.
Yeah, I can. If I had my character sheet open, I could tell you in a second.
Yeah, I've got it here somewhere. But anyway, that guy did leave, and he escaped. Remember, because you guys investigated his safe house, found out that Ursay had been staying there. Remember, you found that those documents that had been their trackers. You found those trackers where they had been all over the place, and so you saw that he had managed to get off of station prior to you guys getting into or almost immediately after you guys getting in trouble at that little research station where they were hiding the scientist. They got off on a ship called the Penny Dreadful, which was in station here, and as far as you know, is still in station here. But you haven't run into any thing except for, well, you ran into a bunch of Ursay in the warehouse, but none of them were that guy. So maybe he's controlling them. Maybe he's staying on ship. You're not sure.
Okay.
But the Penny Dreadful is in at least last time you checked, is in a dock here at Cymbeline.
One of the many reasons why we want to leave.
Yeah, but I just want to really tell the Terran authorities, like, what are you hassling us for? The Bears did all the bad stuff, and besides, we've blown up 2 other stations since then. Come on, we gotta keep up.
Yeah, we've done far worse.
Bureaucracy is so slow.
Kick Van Deers is the name.
Kick Van Deers. Okay, let me put that in my old.
Kick Van Deers, and then Chamira, also gone, escaped from your ship, by the way, with help theoretically from the Ursay and maybe others on Greenpernt, because there was a whole bunch of people.
Missing half her brain. Someone was going to have to help her.
Yeah, she had her neural lace removed.
Yeah, weird. I wonder how that happened.
Yeah, that is weird. Causing it fell out, causing a significant amount of potential, at the very least, psychological damage.
Plus all the lethal damage from the various spoon hits.
There was a few spoon hits. We were just talking about this the other day. But she's gone, and she's also, you guys got like a message from her, remember? I don't know if you guys remember that.
Remember, but I assume it wasn't like, hey guys, great. Hope you guys are doing good. Love to catch up sometime.
Here's the message. Remember this?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Specifically mentions
she misses us, especially Dr. Wagner.
Specifically mentions Dr. Wagner in here. So yeah, a lot going on there. So, and then this was the message that you got from TILA, which is basically, be advised, our preliminary investigation is resolved amicably. No charges within Salamini space. Kolkokan is interdicted to GNT and crew thereon. Crew entirely requested, most specifically, to present in person at TILA HQ Cymbeline at such and such a time for dispensation. Personal message to Jix. Matters put to rest. Need you and Black and the rest of the crew to answer a couple of final questions and sign the paperwork. Signed, Smitchy.
Like Captain Black and I could go. Maybe we should strap a dead man's vest to us or something, a suicide vest, in case it's the trap, because we're going to be short-handed. You can wear it, Captain. I don't want to deprive you of the honors of going on.
I'm ready. I'm fully loaded and ready to shoot some stuff up. Don't worry about me. I'm ready to go. Do I think I can get away with carrying a body pistol into the Terran Legal Authority or no?
Ever been to a courthouse?
Well, I mean,
well, it's a body pistol, so it is plastic. I mean, potentially, also, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, the captain's got cannon inside his friggin' arm, so if that's not coming up on a scan, then
well, he definitely comes up for having augmentations, but augmentations are sort of a dime a dozen.
I'm gonna carry it. See what I can get away with.
Okay.
They see my arm, but they think it's just the arm.
If Doc could just write a note of how infected or how contagious everybody else is who can't make it today, but to be happy to talk to him some other time on some other planet.
Yeah, whenever we get back to Cymbeline, which will be never.
1990 never.
All right. So, all right, you've got cardboard and trash covering up Melvin. Wagner can drive the truck. He's really the only one in the whole place that's Copus Mentis to a certain extent. The rest of you are sort of like on the verge of passing out. Do you guys want to stay here for a couple hours and rest? Or do you want to get back to the Gin and Tonic to take advantage of the medical facilities there? What do you think? Or do you want to call Sergei and see if he can run block for you, or if there's anything else he can do, or there's we got some options, but it's pretty soon. Andrew. It's gonna be just Dr. Wagner.
Yeah, Cap.
Okay. Well,
before he passes out.
I'm not really good at this strategy planning stuff. I'm a doctor, Jim.
It would cost you nothing to stay, right? It's relatively safe. Only really, as far as you know, Sergei knows where you guys are. But what it would ultimately, eventually, if you want to hold on to Melvin, eventually you'd either have to figure out some way to disguise the truck, because while, frankly, let's be honest, Cymbeline is a 24-hour station. There's people out there. They're working. They're carousing. There's stuff there, and the distance between where you are now and the Gin and Tonic is about 30 minutes. So it's practically across the entirety of the station to get to the load docks, the space docks. And there's going to be people there. Those docks are a 24-hour proposition, but that's going to be anytime.
Yeah, I'm fine hanging out here. None of us are in like critical condition at the moment, I think, right? So,
well, two of us are in semi-critical, and then we've got the dead alien still to move. But I was assuming Sergei he's still working on our ship, right? It's in his bay.
Dead alien's at -8 hit points, right? We can still bring him back, right, Les?
No,
his constitution yet. Okay.
Yeah, he took 4 blasts from a squad automatic laser weapon. He's done.
I miss you, Marvin. I hardly knew ye.
So Sergei, so the ship is technically done.
Yeah, but it's still in Sergei's dock, right? I mean, it's still where he was working on it.
Well, Sergei doesn't own. Sergei doesn't own the station. I mean, he's just a reasonably powerful guy.
He worked on it where we parked it.
Yeah, right. It's still parked where it is. We didn't move it. Okay. So I'd assume that Sergei wouldn't have ways to get stuff in and out to work on it. We just go in a truck that's full of parts for the installation work he was doing. It would just look like he's bringing more materials in.
Okay,
that makes sense, because we're not fleeing the scene of a crime and arriving on our ship in the same truck.
Exactly.
I'm okay with that. As using your noggin, Doc. I'm excited to be part of this plan.
Yep.
All right. So what do you guys do? You just call Sergei and say, "Hey, we need transport from the safe house back to the ship. Can you arrange that?
Can you smuggle us back to the ship in some crates?
We could use some criminal Uber, please, or maybe that's. I think that's what they call the other one. What's the Uber competitor?
Lyft.
Yeah, that's the criminal version of Uber. Right?
What are some of those green scooters, electric scooters?
That's incognito. Dragging along a dead body as we go.
Are they called titles or something like that? What are those scooters called?
Next year.
I remember when I worked for RPA, there were people all over Los Angeles driving those things, and man, they were a menace.
Yeah,
because everybody in the cars were deathly afraid of hitting one of those people, and those people didn't care. They were just all over the road, man. It was crazy.
I just remember in Denver, they just seem to be abandoned on every street corner, just like sitting up on rocks and dirt. And like, is somebody charging that thing? Or are you just supposed to just jump on it and now you're responsible for charging it, or what?
I don't have no idea how that business model works. I know that here in St. Louis, there was some articles about people were gathering up off the streets and throwing them in the river, which can't be good.
That's what they did in Paris. I remember they they drained the river there for a while. They found tons of those things.
Tons of electronic scooters. Nice.
Aren't you thinking of that lake in Las Vegas?
Lake Mead.
Lake Mead. Yeah, tons of scooters at the bottom, plus a few bodies.
In barrels.
All right, so Wagner, I'm assuming you're gonna make a call, or you're gonna have Weber make a call to Sergei.
Yeah, I bet that's the plan. Check with Sergei. See if he can send us some assistance.
Okay. He tells you that it's going to be about 6 hours before he can get his guys over there. They're still taking care of the warehouse. In the meantime, he goes, if you check the front steps, I sent a courier over. There's food and drink and stuff and packages on the front steps. You could just reach out and get it. I left some stuff there for you guys.
Nice. Love the Sergei.
Alrighty.
And if you go out there and you can see that there are stacks of those sort of plasticine sort of cartons and things like that. It's obviously enough for the 5 of you. But he's like, I'll those same guys. Did you see the guys at the warehouse? Did you see them?
Yeah, we saw them.
Those do you remember he's like, do you remember what they look like?
I don't remember anything.
I don't remember anything. Well, it'll be the same dudes.
Okay. Okay, then I have neural lace. I'm sure I can play back to what they look like.
One was a robot.
Yeah. I just wanted to know.
No,
if
you shot the robot.
I thought he was asking me if he wanted me to forget what they look like. I'm like, yeah, I'm happy to forget what they look like, but no.
No. He wants you to remember because it's going to be the same guy, but he wants you to make sure it's the same guy.
All right. Well, I feel very confident that I can play back on my neural lace to find the guy's face. And go, okay, I know the guy.
We'll make sure it's the same guy or someone who looks kind of like him or a guy
or a human.
A human.
Any human will do. All right. So there's some food. There's food in the things. Those of you who are still alive, actually, Weber, obviously you guys are hungry and you're a bit dehydrated, so you take care of that. That moves pretty quickly. After you guys eat, Weber and Captain Black sort of find some space in the corner and just sort of nod off. You could probably get, if you want to give them a quick injection, you can probably get Mehmet and Coffin to get some sleep as well. Your guess, Dr. Wagner, is that sleep can only help them.
That's good consult, Dr. DM.
Can you sing me a lullaby?
Give him an apple.
What's from 48 Hours? Tell me a story. Fuck you. Ooh, that's my favorite one.
That's my favorite one.
All right.
6 idiots locked in a room with space tigers. Half of them almost died at the end.
I don't know. Seventide really liked Dr. Wagner, the way Dr. Wagner sort of just like jumped in with his frost gun there. That would just like took it to thing. I think he was, if I got to be honest with you, if the Colonel was looking for favorites, I think Wagner was right there. I think there was sort of kindred spirits there somew.
Oh, I thought you were looking for a new
charisma of 3 or 4.
He's looking for a bipedal lover.
On the other hand, Seventide is a 12-foot octopus with a gas bag on the top of his head and festooned with weapons. So, I mean, charisma, it's a sliding scale. But he'll always say, the human friends of my human friend are my friends too.
I will never look at an octopus the same after season 3 of The Boys.
Oh, yeah? I haven't seen any of that.
Well, guess what? Season 3 of The Boys, you think they can't possibly cover more people in blood, can they? Yes, they can.
Yes, they can. Okay, cool. All right, Wagner, you give Mehmet and Coffin a quick, small, and gentle injection, and they nod off pretty quickly too. So you've got 5 hours, or 6 hours before they get here. Is there anything that you want to do while everyone's asleep? He asked innocently.
Yeah, I want to check on Melvin, see what I can see.
All right, you get the bag out. Give me a med check.
I'm just glad you didn't call your organ harvesting friends on the station while we all passed out.
Exactly.
We got a whole pile of fresh kidneys.
Yeah, there's probably some very saleable parts.
All right. 12. Okay. All right. So, couple of things. Melvin is as you examine the wounds from the lasers, you can see the usual cauterization, the usual sort of cylindrical piercings and things like that. But again, despite this being a much larger creature than the other ones that you've examined, the interior of the creature seems largely undifferentiated, except for a few exceptions. The large eye has some obvious nerve endings and nerve fibers that go back into the undifferentiated mass where the brain should be. There is something of an alimentary canal, but as far as you can tell, it does not end in anything that looks like a digestive system. Frankly, you don't think this creature can eat in the sense that we think of eating. Because although it has an alimentary canal, it goes down into that sort of undifferentiated spam-like mass that seems to make up these creatures. The same with the nerve endings, which are connected to the thing. Normally, you would see nerve endings like that, especially with a large eye as large as this one is. You would expect to see huge nuclei or huge nodes of nerve endings to take advantage of all that immense eye has to offer. You do see some nervous fibers and things like that, but it goes and they go back into the skull, but the skull is filled with that undifferentiated matter. It's not broken up into stuff. It's like it's partially there, if that makes sense. I mean, there are some organelles that you can see. There are some things that look like they belong, but they all dead end into this sort of undifferentiated macromolecular material that it's the same stuff that you've seen in the creatures of this type before, which leads you to believe that maybe Melvin was you wouldn't be thinking. Your hypothesis is that Melvin is of the same sort of genetic family as the two other creatures that you've examined in the Gin Tonic that had these capabilities. But from an organic standpoint, as a doctor, this doesn't make sense. Again, you come back to the idea is that these creatures should not be alive.
Let me summarize all that text, all that commentary from the GM. Doc, this thing has no spaciness.
Well, geez, I guess it has to occupy other people's heads to excrete. So does this undifferentiated gelatinous mass look like it could be canned and sold as pet food?
Well, I mean, it's glutinous, so it can be manipulated. It does have a certain density. Imagine Jell-O. But
it have pineapple chunks floating in it.
No bananas, no fruit cocktail that you can observe. It does seem a little bit more rubbery than Jell-O, but similar kinds of things. You can cut it, and certainly it can be cut with lasers. Even a microtome knife, you are able to sort of. It cuts like flesh wood or whatever sort of material. It's not that dense, but it's a little bit more dense and of roughly the same consistency as Jell-O.
And
go ahead.
Can I get some idea of what the laser shots, the piercings did to his glutinous mass, not gelatinous, glutinous?
You can see you've seen laser holes before, and these largely from an exterior standpoint look much like that. There's the cylindrical hole, there's the exit hole, there is the cauterization that takes place in the cylinder, the shot cylinder. You cut open around the wounds themselves, and they are overwhelmingly through. One of them is through that alimentary canal, but the other three shots are through what would be considered that glutinous material. It's charred around the edges like you would normally see of a laser going through flesh. It has it seems that the cauterization effect typical of lasers works on this glutinous material. There's no leakage. The shot that went through the alimentary canal, and it looks almost like a sort of very strong esophageal material does seem to have something interesting. As you look at the wound around there and you sort of dissect around it into the alimentary canal, instead of that undifferentiated glutinous material, you do see that there does seem to be, as part of the organelle, you can see that there is cellular material that's quite different from the undifferentiated material. You can see what looks to be some very small elements of what could conceivably be a circulatory system. It looks much more normal from an alien physiological standpoint than the undifferentiated material that it backs up into.
Okay, so part of my takeaway then is I don't need the whole alien. I can cut out some of his basic systems and maybe take a test tube full of his goo and leave the mass or bulk of him or whatever behind, so I don't have to be schlepping around.
Sure.
Okay, so I will, while I'm waiting for, what did we decide on, Lyft or Uber?
It's Sergei Lyft.
Well, I'm going to use the remainder of the time to dissect and save parts for later study.
Okay, so what do you take, the eye and the nerve endings and the alimentary canal, and then
the esophageal bits, and maybe just a vial of his goo.
Okay, yeah, no problem there. I mean, it's dead, so it's not reacting in any way, which is odd. So you do use some of your stuff to look at the differentiated material, for lack of a better term. Right. And there is cellular material there that does look like something that would be approximating a nerve system. There does seem to be something of a circulatory system in which some sort of fluid transfer is taking place. The undifferentiated material is almost single-celled, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You have never seen a single-celled organism of this size. What you certainly have never seen is multicellular organelles or portions of organs inside a single cellular organism of this dimension.
That's very curious. So I'm just gonna, like I said, remove any of those differentiated parts and a scoopful or two of the undifferentiated parts, and then gotcha. I'll defer to my colleagues.
Okay.
Side note, can we all agree that Jell-O with fruit chunks in it should be outlawed in all civilized space?
Oh yeah, yep.
What a crime against all living beings.
Does pineapple count?
No.
Chunks of anything.
Chunks of anything. Could be beanie weenies for all I care. Nothing.
Yeah, I remember my aunt would go, here's my specialty, ambrosia. And it's fucking Jell-O skeleton made in a bunt mold.
Yeah.
We were a fruit cocktail family.
I also,
why doesn't that surprise me?
Side note, I also knew about gelatinous cubes from D&D before I ever had Jell-O with fruit chunks in it, and so I will always make that connection.
I always thought you precocious.
It's time for your revenge. The gelatinous cube killed my family. I'm gonna kill it back. All right, so you get your samples. There's no problem there. You're just gonna leave the guy. Well, probably what you do is have the guys that pick you up come back and sort of dispose of it, unless you want to take it with you to the Gin and Tonic and dispose of the corpse in the recyclers.
I would say that would be a nice to have, but not a need to have. I wouldn't want anything getting in the way of our departure. So I took the critical pieces and
gotcha. Okay.
And right. I mean, if we get there and we got lots of time, I'll send Sergei's.
I assume any pieces that look remotely phallic, you make sure you snap those off, right? And those to your tiger penis collection.
I'm not going to forget about Weber Jicks. Of course I have.
Your bandolero of various alien peni.
He's made nunchucks out of them. They're dong chucks. All right. So it takes actually more than 6 hours passes. It's actually about 7.5. But
never trusting him again.
And Captain, you everybody's starting to wake up. Captain, you and Weber are feeling a little worse for wear. Getting shot hurts, and painkillers are wearing off. You examine very quickly, Dr. Wagner, you examine Mehmet and Coffin, and both of them seem to be much improved. The paralysis that you observed before seems to be lessening. In Mehmet's case, it seems to be totally gone. You do a quick head scan on them. The capillary damage is healing, and the drugs that you gave them has seemed to be controlling the inflammation, which does not seem to be. For their part, they seem much more corpus mentis. Their sentences make sense. And Don and Eric, you can act normally as characters in a general sense.
Woohoo!
You're still grievously wounded.
Grievously, I know.
Yep. About 7.5 hours, you hear a small knock at the door.
I'll go check the door. Do we have a
Who is
people
it?
or something?
Well, what you see is there is a white panel grab van parked out front, and the guy that you saw in the distance is sort of standing at the door and kind of looking around. You can see very clearly in his jacket the unmistakable bulge of some sort of firearm.
PPE, yep.
Is it somebody I recognize?
It's that guy that
Okay.
sort of
Well,
saluted you guys when you guys were taking off.
Does the panel van say free candy on the side?
It does not. It says
Okay.
it does have some words on it, but it looks like to be some sort of
Space flower shop or something?
Acme
Yeah,
Plumbing.
yeah,
Acme
exactly.
Forest, Acme.
Yeah, it's some very sort of nonchalant kind of like Smith Brothers electricians or something like that, you know.
Acme Smuggling.
Acme smuggling, Acme people smuggling.
Exactly, people smuggling. All right. One thing, the cap just left, but I wanted to maybe we could take a quick powwow. I'm fine with everything you did, Doc, in terms of making the Marvin more portable. My problem with leaving any part of him behind is that means we no longer control all of the narrative of him, because he could fall into other people's hands, like Sergei, which you could resell parts or whatever, or it could be tracked back to us. I'm not sure. I'd love to hear.
So even though we have a small portion of them, somebody else could come along, take a small portion of them, just like we did. And
yeah,
I don't have a problem with your logic. My thinking is just being quick, trying to clear the scene. And yeah, if we can go back and get it, great. But I don't want it slowing us down.
Yeah, I was hoping whenever the cap comes back, maybe we make that final decision. But
yeah,
we'll start loading everybody in there. I'll make sure I drop Doyle at least once before you get him in the truck. Just a little payback there. He's not here again. All my petty vindictiveness is being wasted.
He's recharging his arm-based stun baton.
Yeah. Last time I saw him, the doc had sewn a baby's head into his torso. Yeah.
Quato.
Yeah, Quato.
Quato lives.
Hey, Doc. All right, hey, Captain. So I think the doc did a good job carving off the most important pieces of Marvin. My problem with leaving him behind is that we leave bits of him behind to fall into somebody else's hands, and we maybe lose control of the narrative on him. I feel we should try to destroy. If we can't take it with us, we should try a way to destroy. But I want to get your feeling if we should just leave the body or hit the road.
I think we should leave evidence behind that the body's been destroyed. I want the Ursays and their agents to believe it's just been wiped out.
Okay, that's a fair point. That's the second way to go. So I'm good with that. I'm not sure what they wanted Marvin for, but I assume they wanted him alive more than dead. So
they might leave us alone if they think it's
Well, you'll recall that they tried to buy him on multiple occasions and then tried to steal him when Sergei wouldn't sell him when you guys were on Tufik.
And it kind of brings our two missions together, because we were doing one mission for Palmer and one mission for the what's our original benefactor, Spacey Sprocket guy?
Spofulam on Mirabilis.
Spofulam Corporation.
Yeah, so it ties both those missions together, the abducted scientists and the thing that hit Palmer. So it's definitely important somehow. I'm just not sure what the piece is yet. Okay, that makes sense. We'll leave it behind, and maybe we can leave it to Sergei's discretion on where he thinks the Ursa can get it or whatever.
Yep.
Cool. I am good to go. So we'll load the unconscious Doyle and Mehmet or whatever Mentis compass they are into the truck and hit the road back to port.
Is there anything else I can do at this point to help expedite their healing or lessen?
When you get back at the ship, yeah, you have a lot of things. And you
but I mean,
now
we're going to be there in a half hour, right?
Yeah, it just takes 30 minutes.
If we can hit the McDonald's drive-through before we get back to the ship.
Oh, absolutely! I need a treat.
Really,
you got to hanker in for some space nuggets.
Yeah, that'll be at least D4 of hit points back.
I'd like some space nuggets and a Fanta.
Fanta.
And a space Fanta. They have it at Cymbeline now. All right, so the guy's like on the door. Who's answering the door?
I would answer.
I did. I answered the door.
Yeah, I was going to say, Matt, you should.
I did. I recognize the guy, so I opened the door.
He's like, "Hey, we're here to pick up make a delivery. Should we go around back and or I'm sorry, we're here to pick up a couple of crates. We should go around back and pick them up and come in.
Let's do that. Let's come around back where there's less prying eyes."
All right, you see him sort of slowly zip up his jacket to hide the gun, and he's like, "We'll meet you around back at the docking bay." And he's like, and you can see so a couple of things is you're sort of like, there was a driver of the van, so this guy was obviously riding shotgun, but you can also see that there's like a little lift, like almost a turret, on the top of the van, and you can see a camera, and you can see what looks very suspiciously like some sort of weapon that sort of goes back down to the top of the van.
Can we get one of those to drive around surfaces on? I want to put one of those on the Gin and Tonic and just leave it in the cargo bay. All right. Don't you want like
an armored grab van?
Armored grab van with a top turret.
All right, so it's only a couple of minutes, not even, that they come around, and you can hear them on the door. You lift the bay door, and they pull in, closing the bay. The guy comes back out, and he says, "Are you guys ready to go?"
Yep. I'm gonna give him a quick rundown, like, hey, tell Sergei that this is what the Earthsay we're looking for, so maybe he can leave this somewhere they can find it if possible. And
he's like,
we got what we need.
You see him kind of do this. You want us to destroy it?
Yeah, but leave evidence behind that it's gone. That way they probably will stop following all of us.
Okay. I'll take care of it. Guys, help them get their gear inside the van. And there's like two other guys kind of pop out of the back, and they're like, "Do you have any luggage?"
Yeah, his name's Coffin Doyle. He has feelings.
Yeah, help this guy. So as you guys are sort of like gathering up your material and that kind of stuff, you see this guy sort of standing over, and he kind of looks at it and turns up his nose a little bit. And then from off in some sort of pocket, you see him pull up a little cylinder about the size of maybe a toilet paper roll with a fairly complex thing on the top. He sort of pops the top on that, and there's like a little, and he just sort of sets it down in the middle of the remains of Melvin. And he turns to look at you guys. He sees you guys looking. He's like, "Nope, you're going to want to turn away."
I turn away like a bug bomb. I'm out. I'm looking away.
Though, as you turn away, you see this very bright light behind you that is like this bright white light that goes off, and it stays for a couple of seconds and then dims back down. You look back over there, and you can see that there's largely a scorched place in the middle of the floor where Melvin used to be. There's some quite burnt material, and that kind of stuff. But it looks like maybe he put some sort of like thermite grenade on top of it and let it go off.
Nice.
All right, you guys get in the van. He gets back in the shop. There's there's no communication there. I mean, it's solid. The back of the van is separate from the front of the van. You can see as you get in, there's like benches, and you put all their stuff in there. There's two guys that helped you. They are you can see them sort of sit closest to the back, and there's obviously like shotguns and things like that, and they've got all kinds of in the van, like connected to the walls, hung on the walls, are like little cases and packs and stuff like that hold other things. There's also like a little sort of monitor that comes down. Like, you ever been behind an SUV and it's got one of those little TVs? Mm-hmm. There's one coming like right under where that turret is. There's a little TV monitor. It's dark now, so you suspect that the turret isn't deployed, but that's kind of how they work it. They're like, "Okay, have a seat. Hold on. We'll get you there as fast as we can." And you can feel the grab truck, and out it goes. It does take all 30 minutes, but eventually the van stops, and the back there's a bit of a break. The back doors open up, and you can see over across the little bay. Various workers are kind of running around. You guys are at the dock, and the Gin Tonic is over there about 20 meters away.
Okay.
All right.
And then almost immediately when you come out of the van, you hear, those of you with neural lace hear from Jen. Greetings, everyone. Greetings, Captain Black. Greetings, my friends. Glad to see you back. I hope your evening in the station was pleasant.
Oh, us. We like to tie it on. It was a party.
Totally.
I got a little bit of a hangover right now, though.
Yeah, you see the base, so you get in through the cargo hold, and it's like, the little ladder comes down, and you guys are unmolested as you make your way to the Gin and Tonic, and you get back in.
Huzzah!
Okay, well, I will queue up for the line to the med bay, whatever order the doc wants to take us in, because we're all the walking wounded right now. Jen, is there anything to report in terms of notoriety that we might have caused in the last 12 hours?
Notoriety. Did you guys have was there any problems with your evening? I assume that you had gone and availed yourselves of some of the local restaurants and clubs.
Yeah, that's all we did. It was all good.
Just go check the local tattle pages.
Yeah, just don't scan us for injuries. Don't check the local rags.
Don't scan us for injuries.
Don't scan us for injuries. You don't want to know.
Whatever you do.
No, he's like, nothing on any of the nets that I've been monitoring. I do have some news that I've been notified that and have confirmed that all of the repairs and upgrades have been completed, and we are pending clearance to exit Cymbeline. I do have a reminder that was sent to the ship to inform you that you do have an appointment with Terran Legal Authority this afternoon at 6. But after that, we are cleared to leave Cymbeline Station.
Okay. Well, Cap and I are going to represent. Everybody else is going to be laying around sick bay, and Doc's going to be putting the puzzle pieces back together. So
for no reason whatsoever. Again,
actually,
don't scan us.
Maybe Cap and I should go first, Doc, so you can patch us up good enough, and I can shower, shave, drink a little, and hit the road.
Do I think I can graft any of Melvin onto any of my patients?
Yeah, maybe unplug some of the unstopper some of the tiger penises you have holding my blood down here.
I want to get you off the Viagra, so I might just have to use a tiger penis.
Just instead of a regular cybernetic arm, just install a dong chuck arm.
Dong chucker. Yeah. Doyle's missing all the good stuff today.
That baby just will not go to bed. Okay, yeah. So yeah, Dr. Wagner, you get him in to sick bay. You confirm a lot of what your initial diagnoses meant. Found they do seem to be healing normally, and so based on your administrations, you can give pretty much everybody who's wounded another D6 of hit points. So go ahead and take the time and do that.
Okay. I don't need to roll, do I?
No, my icon here is at
roll
full,
D6.
So.
Oh, for med check?
Oh, hit points back, right?
What?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what you said? D6 hit points
No,
back?
you just roll the D6 to give hit points back.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
how many hit points back?
You
I will
need
get.
to do
I
a
will.
med check.
How about you have Doc roll it for all of us?
Well, that's
Or
what he's
roll
gonna.
it
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what I meant.
Okay.
So one thing that you guys don't have is cargo yet. I don't know if you're. I don't know if you guys are thinking about getting some stuff, or you just want to get out of town.
No. We never leave without a load. That's our motto.
That's not a good motto. We need a
I'm tweeting that, by the way.
All right. I am happy to if the doc can patch me up good enough to be standing, I'm happy to go wheel and deal on behalf of the crew.
Can we take Jazz's nameplate off his quarters?
Yeah, sure.
We don't, unless we want to be reminded.
I heard
He might come back.
Yeah. Any day now. That's what I thought Steve was on here for. I thought he was going to take that extra berth we had.
No.
Hold on, I'm almost pulled.
All right.
I'm finished up the tweet.
How much are you medicating me, Doc, and how much am I self-medicating with bourbon?
Well, at this point, I'm trying to wean you down off the good stuff because, frankly, I guess we're all useful for something, so can't be high all the time.
Take that back.
I'm sorry. I apologize, fellas.
Take that back.
Them's fighting words.
So, Les, should he roll a d6 for each of us individually, or just one?
No,
D6?
just once for everybody.
Okay.
Correct.
Roll that one, and then ask Les to roll it.
And no pluses, or does he get like a plus for his medical skill?
Yeah, he would get his medical bonus. So D6 plus your med bonus, or as I like to refer to it, the med bone.
Okay.
Old
So
med
I'm
bone.
rolling
Yep.
plus the med bone. Okay.
Med bone.
8 points back. All right, here is you guys. Boom, everybody's here. All right, so go ahead and add 8 points. If you are injured, add another 8 points.
That puts me
Here.
at full. I'm feeling so much better.
Mehmet, where'd you go? Would you go in the bathroom there?
I went to the med lab.
Oh, okay.
I asked Jen to order me another scroll of Cure's large wounds.
We're gonna need another
Pure
big.
serious mass.
We're gonna need another big bag of ketamine here for this. We got to make some more special. All right, so you guys are starting to feel better. Dr. Wagner, like I mentioned before, your initial diagnoses turned out to be correct. You don't see anything other than Coffin continues to re-injure his stump, but everything else seems to be healing as good as can be expected over the course of 12 hours.
It's not helping that every once in a while Weber goes by and flicks the stump. How's that feeling, buddy?
Well, I mean, he basically got his arm sawed off or chopped off by Wagner, and then he continues. So he continues to fire an enormous squad-sized weapon, one-handed, Rambo style, at enemies, and he hits them. So he's doing pretty good. But the shock waves of, I mean, he's not braced properly, and he keeps re-injuring that arm stump.
Right.
Which, frankly, Dr. Wagner's keeping ripe because the plan is to attach a cybernetic arm to it once he has neural lace, implanted, which you guys were going to do once you guys get into jump space, depending on where you're going to go.
Can't wait till we're drinking and I get to go stop hitting yourself.
Maybe I should get a flask implanted so I could just have my my bourbon with me all, Scotch and bourbon all with me all times.
Like an insulin pump. You get a Pappy's pump.
Pappy's pump. What was that? I heard a space.
I don't know what that was. It wasn't me, I don't think.
Wasn't me either.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Oh, that's Steve.
It's Steve.
Oh, is it Steve?
That's funny. He wandered off.
I've got a device that has that same voice to it.
Alexa, open the pod bay door.
All right, so you got it's about, by the time you get there, it's probably close to and by the time you get everything sorted out, it's about 10 a.m. You still have about 8 hours before you have to be at TILA.
All right.
Is there anything you want to do before that happens?
Yes, I'm showered, shaved, put my good cape on. I think the third, and I'm ready to go wheel and deal on behalf of the team to get some cargo.
Okay, you want to do some cargo?
Oh, you're going to get cargo first. You want me to go with you for the cargo?
Only if you have some sort of skill that will augment my skill.
No,
Otherwise,
if anything, I would
drag me down, then
I
take
drag
me
you
back.
down.
Normally,
That's not my key area.
somebody tries to abduct me, but we're going to assume that nobody's going to try to abduct me today.
Yeah.
How many hit points did we get back?
You're so adorably naive. 8.
It was 8.
Okay. Still down, but I'm better. all my limbs are still attached, so I count that.
Yeah. Counting your
Okay,
blessings over there.
Body pistol on me at all times. I'll leave the auto shotgun behind, which I don't have any ability to use, except I always carry it with me when we go to the fight Ursay. Okay, and sorry, I'm just reading through all my enemies list here. Phasing aliens, rando Ursay, some bills, Palmer's enemies, fashion disasters, cheap scotch, and really just all bears. Now I added cordyceps in red down here.
Some bills.
Okay. Some bills, not all bills.
Not all bills.
Greenpert Station is on notice.
Yeah, but all the Stacys, I'm still.
I think it was what was it? Bill Cigarette was one of them, and one of the bad guys. What was the other one? Big Bill and Bill
Narragansett.
Yeah.
Narragansett.
I have to go back. I have to. But we actually, you know what? This is on the website, I believe, on Tiny Batman. The list of bills. Bills we know. Sort of like Dave's we know.
Stacy's, we didn't know too many Stacy's.
You guys did not run into a lot of Stacy's, which was weird. But you did avoid. You did have one Stacy. So there was Bill.
Place. I remember going to Stacy's place.
Bill Scaramouche was the system commercial controller. Bill Shittingford was a senior controller who Scaramouche's boss. Bill Tiefling was a low-level documents manager who they faked his suicide. Right. Bill Narragansett and Big Bill Megaburp were the bad guys.
Yeah. Who was the pilot who came out to? Was that Scaramouche?
That was Scaramouche. You also ran into a couple of cops: DS Bill Numberless, Bill Thaddeus, and Stacy Frogs. And then there was
unfortunate high school experience she must have had.
And then there was Bill Neighbors, who was the neighbor at the safe house that you guys talked to, and Bill Fentanyl, who was a friend of someone with technicals, and then Detective Bill Cigarette was sent by Bill Scaramouche to Bill Tiefling's house to talk to you about what happened to Bill Tiefling.
Rest in peace, Bill Tiefling. Billy T.
We hardly knew him. Those were the master list of bills. Okay, so all right, so you're gonna want to get cargo, which for reasons that I can't really figure out, I cannot seem to. Oh, it's because I'm looking in the wrong place. I need to actually look in the right place for the thing. So who do you want to go to? You want to just go to system control, or some of the, some of the notable sort of importer exporters, or do you want to go through somebody specific, or what do you got in mind?
I mean, given my skill and experience, I would know where I think that would be the best cargo. I know where we're going next, which is where, guys? Are we going? I'm trying to remember where we're going next.
I was about to say, when you said you know where we're going next, I'm like,
I know.
How does he know?
Weren't we going to somewhere in the middle of space, or we already do that? Don't we have somewhere like in the middle of space to go, or do we already do that?
Well, that's where you met the affront in this square right here, and then you kind of popped over to Cymbeline. But here's where you met Seventide. Now your guess is that he isn't there anymore. This red path is the path so you got some information about the derelict ship that Seventide and the affront shot up for target practice when you went up front, and it's the ship that you found Melvin on, and that ship had gone from Kukulkan to Greenport back to Kukulkan, and they had stopped out here in this sector somewhere for a while, and then they had moved into this parsec, which is where the affront was, and that's when they ran into a problem. Yeah, they got shot up.
Bummer. Justice for bears.
But that's where they came from. Kukulkan to Greenport, back to Kukulkan. Then they spent some time out in deep space. They jumped there, stayed there for a couple of days, and then jumped into the hex where they ran into the affront.
Well, let me see, scanning down our scenarios of our task list here. Where else we need to be? We're still looking. Wasn't there somewhere we could buy we saw for sale the books that Palmer lost.
Yeah, I think it's Palmer we need to get back to at this point.
In several months. Well, no, we got to get, but those books might be somewhere we can pick them up, or go shake some. Oh, here's Space Craigslist.
Space Craigslist. So yeah, category Cymbeline, Antiques and Rarities, Literary, Avant, Revelatory, Possibly Evil. Steiner Library, pristine with marginalia, volumes 1 through 24, entire set. Excellent provenance with certificates and authentication. Independently verified by expert with documentation, by appointment only, serious inquiries, etc. Message N. Palmer, Cymbeline Station.
All right. So did I shoot Palmer a note saying, hey, man, this is for sale? It feels like I did, but I can't recall.
You sent him a note, but you haven't heard back. Because remember, Palmer's back at Mirabilis. He's after the destruction of his asteroid summer home. That he traveled first to. He was at Calgary, then he went over to Fenris, and then he went over to Mirabilis. And so he has, as far as you know, he has been in contact with Spofulum. They've come to some sort of arrangement, but he's basically set up temporary HQ on the Mirabilis, on that big station at Mirabilis Mirabilis system.
So maybe we get a cargo going back to Mirabilis, but maybe since we're here, we try to pick this sucker up. It might also be a trap, but because they, people who potentially own that library might know that we're here, but maybe not. They're just trying to move some gear. I'm going to talk to Tam and no, Tam's out of it for a moment. How about Gin? Is there a way I can come up with a secondary identity or disguise my identity to reach out to this person with reasonable levels of confidence that they won't know who we are for sure?
I can. So go ahead.
I was going to say you can get genetic alterations so that you can look like anything.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to do. But you're still Humpty Dumpty right now. So Doc's putting you back together.
Yeah, I'm in pretty bad shape right now.
So that's why I put you on the bench on this one.
So Gin tells you that you can certainly you can anonymize a message to this thing. Space Craigslist has an anonymization system that you can use. However, while the recipient of the message will see an anonymized message, if anybody wants to, Space Craigslist almost certainly has a deal with Greenport Station, and they're using their network. So if anybody in authority wanted to track that, they would be able to, as well as anybody who had significant knowledge of the network system on this station.
Well, can I bounce it off a signal off of Ember and then back to Cymbeline or something?
What? For Space Craigslist?
Movie, we're like, what are we doing in the movie? You're like, oh, sorry, can't trace the call. It's in Poland right now. No, it's in New Zealand. No, it's...
like a space VPN.
Yeah.
Space Tour.
It's Space Tour. You can anonymize it. You could also put in the course of the message that you are in a different system, and change, and you could alter the sort of timestamp on it, so that would coordinate with which would match a subspace system.
But let's say I do something similar to that and just send a note like, hey, interested in this one. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? And I don't think it had a price on it, did it?
It did not have a price.
And are we talking price?
But it did say serious inquiries only.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll be a little more firm. Interested in this purchase. I think I can line up a buyer down the road. What are you looking for it? I'll be in Cymbeline within a 24-hour time, yada yada.
Okay, so something like very interested in discussing further about Steiner Library. We should discuss price. We'll be arriving Cymbeline system within the next 24 to 48 hours. Yep. And then have Gin sort of alter the timestamp so that it looks like you guys are using, jump space traffic to sort of send this message.
Yep, that sounds good.
Can do. All right.
And then I guess I'm going out to the dock and doing some hawking. All right. Let's say, so I don't think we need to go back to Greenport anytime soon. We have enough friends / enemies there, but where can we make some new friends and enemies? Let's see. So the Kazinti space is the purple or the red? The red, the contested, right?
So the red, the Kazinti space is Forlorn, Inferno, and Hades. So right around Calgary, which is really that's part of the reason that the Terran Legal Authority is finding this war between the Affront and the Kazinti so difficult. The purple space is essentially the volume between Affront space and Kazinti space, and that's where a lot of the Affront Kazinti battles are taking place, especially space battles. The problem is you look between the near those two areas, you see a lot of A-level systems. I mean, there's Ember, there's Prometheus, there's all these are A-level systems. That's primary systems in the Salamini cluster. These are populated, tens of billions of people in these systems. A lot of a lot of manufacturing, a lot of things that Terra and the Salamini cluster want to protect. Basically, what they have been working diligently to do is keep the Affront Kazinti war from getting outside of its borders and affecting Salamini space. Now, the problem is you've got sympathizers on both sides, right? So you can guess that the people at Calgary and Hephaestus, and remember, Calgary is largely a military system, but Captain Black would know that there's a lot of Kazinti sympathizers there, which means that there's probably a fair amount of cargo, military cargo, moving from Calgary into Forlorn into Kazinti space. On the other hand, Ember and certain other elements, usually less legally.
Knock it off.
I hear Kazinti.
Are they all right?
Or say now.
Kazinti are coming after us already.
And so there is a fair amount of Affront sympathy as well, especially among those people who are
around Ember and stuff.
Well, Ember, Cymbeline Sergei is, Sergei was the connection that Seven Tides sent you to. So obviously there's been some Cymbeline Affront stuff. There's a lot of, and the Affront, frankly, the Affront is probably supplying Cymbeline with weapons in their war against the Kaldjukians. So, there's a lot of people working behind the scenes. One, you've got the Salaminis, the government who is trying to keep this thing from breaking its borders. In the meantime, you've got private organizations, individuals, spacefaring groups, semi-legitimate or businesses who are providing for their own reasons support, supply to either side. War is good for business.
Yep. And we're in the business of getting into business with these people. So
that is correct.
But what I'm thinking, guys, is that we maybe go to Calgary because we can get into the Kazinti space possibly from there, but it's also closer to Ursay space if we get any sort of leads to get us anywhere to, because we're looking for scientists somewhere. I don't think we have any leads on where captured scientists are being held. Right? I mean, I don't remember any, except for the pictures we got back from them. Unless there was something in, like the star charts of where those pictures were in the background of those, I don't think we have anything particularly significant.
I don't remember a good lead on that side right now. Our leads have been on Palmer's side.
All right, so let's do some short jumps here. What's Midway looking like, Les? I'm saying Midway.
Midway is good. It's an A system. It's certainly not Terra, but it's only a jump away from Terra. I mean, you'd be going towards the seat of Terran power rather than away from it.
Okay. Why don't we hit Midway? If there's some cargo going to Midway, and if nothing's doing that's interesting, we'll go to Calgary. But that way, I think that's kind of like second base right there. We can head back to first base or head to third if we find another place to go. We're not too far off the beaten path. That sound good, Cap? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And Eric, your character's been unconscious in the med bay anyway, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You opened for your arm replacement.
Yeah,
you opened your stitches.
You tell him what kind of arm you put on him, Les, or the doc's put.
Well, he's come back, and the arm has been acquired, I believe, right? Oh. I mean, you got the arm; it just hasn't been attached yet.
Dong chucks on, right? Made of tiger penises.
Now everybody's going to want a set of dong chucks. If you give them to Coffin, the next thing you know, the whole crew is going to be, I want dong.
I don't.
All right. So
laugh now, but you'll see.
I'm hitting up people at the station. Hey, what do you got? What do you got? We're making wheels and deals today. We're going Midway.
Well, I'm trying to find my stupid thing where we do the cargo things. but I can't find the damn. I can't open the thing. My
Just
Excel
roll
has crashed.
Just roll the crit, the Pathfinder crit table instead.
I don't think that's going to work.
Here we go. I got it. All right. So, okay, per ton profitability. All right. So, so you're just going to the normal exporter importers kind of thing.
We'll start there.
Okay.
I bet our boy Sergei might have some things he needs moved here and there.
Okay. All right. So so we're gonna roll your what's the skill that you use to sort of wrangle business?
Oh, 1 second. I'll tell you.
It's a I want to say diplomacy, but that's not it.
Strumpetry.
I got
shopper experience.
I got diplomacy, interrogation, forgery, carousing, streetwise, or diplomacy, or what do I got? Recruiting. Who am I recruiting? I gotta get rid of that skill.
Probably diplomacy. All right, give me your diplomacy skill. You need to hit to you basically you're stopping into the first import export place to see if they've got any business.
A +2 is 2d6 plus 1.
2d6 plus well, so
it's a +2, so
it's 2d6 plus 2, yeah.
Okay, for some reason I was thinking it was +1. Okay, wait, sorry, I'm in Zoom, not in Roll20. Okay, 2d6. All right, let's go. All the deals right here. Let's do it. Oh yeah.
Ooh, 11. All right, so you definitely get on these people's good side, and that gives you a D100 roll on the cargo.
Okay, 1 second.
Now they say they don't have anything. Now here's the thing: they don't have anything going to Midway, but they do have stuff going to Ember, which is halfway to Midway.
Halfway there. Do I do a +2 on that one? That D100 roll too, or no?
No, just straight up D100.
Okay. 62.
62. Let's see what that is.
Give us the real name of it, and then allow us to pervert it to something more disturbing.
They've got a load of starship and vehicle components, and roll another D100.
Starship and vehicle components. All right.
Sensor package arrays and parts.
22.
22 tons of sensor array parts and packages for starship vehicles going to Ember.
What is that? What's our cargo capacity?
That
could be one of the pods.
200, outside. I think.
Okay, so we got plenty.
But it's with pods, yeah. So yeah, plenty. Wait, I think is it a 100-ton freighter or a 200-ton freighter? I can't remember.
Captain.
I don't think it's a small freighter. So
it's 200.
You got one job.
Yeah, I was going to say I think it's 200 tons. You got 50 in the main. You got 50
That's
in the main.
My job is to know the ship.
You got 50 in the main cargo bay, and then you attach
pod, right?
Essentially attach three. You got 3 pod attachments that you can attach to the ship that are each 50 tons.
Open the pod bay door, Mehmet Tam. All right. So that's the first one I got. Car parts going to Ember, you say?
Sensor packages, and they will. So they pay
sensor packs for the ladies.
So they are going to pay. So that's a 2.85 modifier, 22 tons. They're going to pay. Let's check. Hold on a sec. I gotta look one time. I think we're gonna go with 50 kilo credits on that.
Okay, that sounds okay. All right, put her there. All right, I do the space.
You're not going far. I got a lot of people competing for work here, so I mean
what else you got? Give
me another roll.
And then if you don't get anything else good, then I'll go to the sundry side of the street. Or the sorted side of the street, not the sundry. All right, D100 again, or
98. Let's have a look, see what that's about. That could be something real. Ooh, 98. All right, so the same person is like, look, you know Sergei, right? You're friends with Sergei?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We're like this.
I got some other stuff that I'm interested in.
Roll
me another D100, would you?
A little D100, okay. Yeah.
I got something they might be interested if you're going to Ember. This is pretty close.
How about order 66?
All right, here's what I got. I got 65 tons of tools and parts. Now, provenance on this stuff is not great. It's largely medical and cybernetics, if you get my drift. And I got 65 tons of it for the ladies. Yeah, exactly. It's all pink and orange. But I'm willing to. You move this to Ember and talk to my guy and keep it under wraps. I'll pay you 200 kilocredits for it.
I got you, boo. I got you. All right. I'll spit on my hand again. Put her there. And that's how you seal deals in space still. All right.
All right. So that's 77 tons worth of material. That you're on. It's gonna. So it'll take them. So they got to load it later tonight. After. Okay. And then do it fairly surreptitiously, because it's got to be crated and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to take 24 hours for them to get it over to your bay, but they can do it.
Somebody who holds the money, 255 kilocredits is what we're talking so far. What I've generated, is that good? I'm trying to remember. Like mega credits, what we're trying to get to, right?
It's kind of like pesos. You never know.
Yeah. Like,
so right now, you guys are. Yeah, I mean 250 mega credits or kilocredits for
short hop.
77 tons. Yeah, short hop. That's not bad.
All right, I think we can start. We can start with that. Maybe after we go to the Terran Authority, maybe I'll slide around. But after, I'll slide around and see if there's somebody on the shadier side that needs something.
There's any more stuff that you can send
more
out?
Bear porn.
I want to know if there's any of the
Ewok pelts.
Are there any parts that might be of interest to me?
You could look through. I don't know. I mean, it's the problem is you gotta break the seals on the crates.
Well, hold on. Yeah,
I asked the guy.
Some kind of integrity, don't we?
Is he gone already? Now that we've spit shook on the deal, or can I ask him before he departs?
You're not there.
If you're interested, I'll call you.
I'm not there. Okay.
If you're interested, if I knew you're interested, I can always dial him up later. Say, we can always make a deal while we're in deep space.
It's possible. You got money and they've got parts.
Yep.
If you need something,
parts is parts. So says chicken nugget dispensaries.
Parts is parts.
Well, I'm hooking.
You let it ferment, just like anything else.
Hooking up Coffin Doyle. So if there are any cybernetic parts that could beef them up, or if then I've got anything they would like to buy, then certainly like to have that conversation.
Cybernetic arm with a spoon attachment is all you need. All right. Yeah, shoots out of his wrist like RoboCop. What else we need? I think that's it. Yeah, I'm gonna go slap myself silly a few times to get ready for the Terran interview. Okay. Pat myself on the back for a reasonably good job considering the circumstances we're in at the moment.
Okay. And, so as the time goes near, you get something to eat, and everybody's pretty rested. Actually, the Mehmet and Coffin, barring their injuries, are actually, from a point of view of their mental condition, they seem to have recovered pretty well. You do another quick CT on all of them, and just to check out some spinal fluids and stuff like that. And it looks like the bleeding has stopped. The capillaries have healed themselves fairly well. Inflammation seems to be gone. Whatever it was that Melvin did to them, it seems temporary.
I'd be interested if they remember anything to tell us that what Melvin might have told them or they learned from him, besides a psionic attack.
Well, so, I mean, possibly the person that can speak to the most to that would be Mehmet, would be Tam, because he tried to communicate with the creature. And Tam, you remember what it felt like.
Yeah, I got pictures kind of in my head, didn't I?
Well, it was kind of like it was looking through your memories.
Right.
And trying to get information from you. The problem was that doing so caused a lot of damage.
Yeah, hurt.
Yeah.
Not
but it
physically,
looked like,
but mentally bad.
The sense that trying to convey information, he was basically looting his brain.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, he was basically the feeling that you got was analogous to someone. Imagine all of your memories being in a big card catalog, and this was somebody going through the card catalog looking for interesting things. but yeah, doing damage as they did so. You don't know if if Melvin was trying to hurt you, but it just you got the impression that just this method of getting information was both invasive and damaging to your brain.
It was a mind fuck using Ajax as a lubricant.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That works. I'm tweeting that, by the way.
That's my medical opinion.
I'm tweeting that too.
You're desperate for material, are you?
Always. Well, that's my medical opinion. Got it. Perfect. All right. Okay. So yeah, they seem to be okay. So theoretically, they could come with you to TILA if you wanted to, but you may not want to. It's up to you. I always love it when you guys split the party, so it's great.
Yeah, I know you do. I know you love it. And nothing I like better than voluntarily showing up for some bureaucratic, quick conversations. Just some formality, really. Get you in and out.
Well, that's what he said. I mean, it's basically, so there's some paperwork. He had a couple of questions on what happened that he needed to do for the permanent records, and then you would be done.
How about we, before you and I go in there, maybe we add a couple extra, subtle sensors somewhere on our body or cameras so if anything does happen to us, the rest of the party has some sort of idea what happened to us.
They can find the bodies afterwards.
Yeah, molecular detector, looking for scorched molecules.
Yes.
I think you'll find Captain Black is not the timid type. He's like, I hope there's some Ursa in there.
I wish somebody would try to abduct
exactly.
Me. Okay.
So he's not too scared.
I just don't want to be pushed out of an airlock when the rest of the party's over here, taking a nap.
Has everybody upped their hit points based on Dr. Wagner's healing prowess?
The original
100%.
The original 8, or is there more since then?
Just the original 8.
Okay.
Totally recovered.
I'm still down a little bit.
I did coffins, so
feeling fine.
I'm just sore now.
All right. So what is the plan to go see TILA? I mean, you talked about maybe upgunning some detectors. What kind of detectors do you want to use?
What do you think? Well, I would love to have like a little micro camera or something that the other members of the party are able to follow the conversation, and so we don't have to pretend that we're metagaming when they have questions.
It would probably take Tam a couple of minutes to modify a camera drone that kind of you used in the summer home.
Don't we already have neural lace anyway? We're already in connection.
All except coffin.
Is this Tam's only fan camera? Is that what we're using?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, like for $9.99 and micro killer credits. See me switch faces to anybody you'd like to see.
He uses it for podcasting.
And then maybe a what do they call it? A passive sensor too. One that can't be picked up by a tracker sweep, but that could come on later if we don't make our ETA.
Okay. What's it? Just detect. What is it? What do you want it to detect?
Where we are.
Okay. All right. So like a tracker.
A tracker. It's either like something we can swallow, or the old Max Smart, the heel of my shoe tracker. The old heel of my shoe tracker.
Gotcha. Okay. So so from a camera standpoint, you can have a physical camera based on the drone that Mehmet can, make some modifications to and lodge in your clothing of some sort. You also have you can use your neural lace to or not broadcast. It wouldn't be like a show, but you can
yeah. Well, we'll just assume that will be business as usual broadcast, but I'm just looking as a backup to the backup.
Gotcha. All right.
Okay. And then so the sensor, the passive sensors, is the last backup to, like, please find if we haven't been found by this time, please turn on passive sensor and see where our bodies are located.
Well, so Gin has a bit of an upgraded sensor array. So while it's damped now because you're in dock,
He's in dock, right? Yeah.
he could certainly tune it to your neural lace and keep track of you within the station. If you're worried about being moved.
Yeah. I'm just, if everything's on the up and up, it should be in and out. But if everything's not on the up and up, I want to be ready. That's all. Weber has become increasingly paranoid after green turns. Like he's very trusting when we got the green turn there. Every time we turned around, somebody's trying to abduct him or murder him straight up.
All right. So just Black and Weber, that's all who's going?
Yeah.
Does everybody else think they can go? I mean, that's why we
they're unconscious in the middle.
We had Doc write a note how contagious they are right now.
Okay. All right.
Bubonic scabies, space scabies.
All right. You make your way.
I can sell it. Whatever Doc says, I can sell it.
You catch a space Uber, and you head your head. It's better than Slift, yeah. You get down so you go basically into downtown Cymbeline Station, where there's a lot more activity. There's a lot of people. There's a large Terran Interstellar Legal Authority building there, of several floors, but it does seem to be after hours. As you approach you do see some people inside though, and we'll go ahead and just switch the map, shall we?
Oh, you got a map ready, guys. You ready?
All right.
And they have health bars.
Everybody has health bars. It's not a thing. All right. So you guys come up to the steps. Now there's nobody going in and out, but you can see that there is a person behind what looks to be a terminal over here, and several there's glass doors here, not glass, but obviously some sort of doorway system, and then there would look to be some sort of barriers. They look like traffic barriers, the kind of thing that you see at the bank, right? There's more people. Terran Interstellar Legal usually has a fair amount of people in it, but you don't see any other customers at this point. In fact, you think technically you think that they're closed.
Yeah, it's after hours. I'm sure this is totally legitimate moment here. I don't know what we have anything to worry about. It's got a battle map in front of me. I have a good feeling about this, Captain. In and out. You want to have some sort of Legolas Gimli body count contest here? If it goes bad,
we're not doing go get help.
I love go get help. All right. So I guess we're gonna slowly mosey. Are you armored up?
To her, right?
I have basic what do they call it? Like the upgraded body armor that looks like nice clothes kind of thing.
Yeah,
gotcha. Okay.
So I'm coming in. I'm trying to look as casual as possible.
You're all bruised up. There's blood leaking through there. You're like, hey, we're here. Here for our appointment.
No, I'm sure there was some cosmetics on board, right? We keep these sort of things.
Yeah. Dr. Wagner is an absolute pro when it comes to this stuff. He got you patched up. A little makeup.
Part of my mortician kit.
Lots
of makeup.
A little spirit gum.
Mortician / mob doc kit that he carries. All right. I'm sorry, I'm not on roll 20. Let me open it back up there. Let me move my. All right. La-di-da.
All right, you guys mount the stairs. You mount the stairs. Psh, the door opens up, and you hear the woman behind the door says, Captain Black, Mr. Jix, please come in. Welcome to Terran Interstellar Legal Authority.
Hello.
My name is Ms. Popov. I believe you're here to see Mr. Smitchy. Is that correct? And you hear from the other side of the barriers, you see two people stand up. One of them says, I'm Smitchy. Captain Black, Mr. Jex. I'll be, I see you're here. This is my assistant, Brian Dubois. She's here to help us out. If you would please follow me.
Now, I spent a lifetime and a career in the sort of like in the quasi-ambassador area of diplomatic military corps. How am I feeling about the place? Do they feel like they have any weird body language?
Give me. I could never remember your skills. Do you have any skills that would help you with this? Maybe carousing.
Why don't you name a skill and I'll say I have it. Okay. I got interrogation. I have carousing. I have diplomacy, and I have streetwise. And I have liaison. That's the one I was looking for before. That would have been probably better than diplomacy when I was doing trading.
Streetwise in this case.
Streetwise it is.
That's Smitchy.
All right, street.
He looks like a Smitchy.
Yeah.
Smitchy, and here's Bria Dubois. Very appropriate. And then here is Miss Popov.
I apparently trip over my my shoe as I'm trying to read the room here. I rolled a 4.
Rolled a 4. Seems okay.
Yeah.
Smitchy gives off every indication that he's a shitbag bureaucrat for tearing his illegal. You've dealt with these jackasses before.
Okay. So are we staying on? I see 2 metal detectors there. Are we having to walk through those puppies?
Hold on. So they're like, just come with me, and they look to be. Well, they're on, certainly. And Miss Popov says, gentlemen, if you could please step through the detectors. It's merely a formality.
I walk through them, and when it goes off, I pull out my flask. I gotta put that in a little basket there.
Put it in the basket, sir.
Unless my body pistol somehow goes off, then I should be fine.
Mr. Black, it's our understanding that you've had some augmentation. Obviously, we'll be able to. So they're like, please step through slowly so that we may examine your cybernetics.
This is where you pull out the spinal tap cucumber. And
yeah, I'll walk through.
Okay. You walk through. At the point she says, so we can examine your cybernetics, you see 2 security bots light up. Now, they don't move, but you see them over to the sides over here?
Yes.
Hello? Oh, yeah. We can hear you, Eric.
Okay.
That was it. He was just testing.
Oh, okay, great.
Okay.
All right. So you see those 2 security bots go off. Sort of, they kind of like come to ready state. They're not moving or anything. And Smitchy kind of looks over. Oh, don't pay any attention to that. Just the security bots. They always do that.
I'm sure they do.
Smitchy comes over to you. He's like, Mr. Jix, finally nice to meet you after so much things. I'm very glad that you were able to make it tonight. Again, I will tell you that this is simply a formality. I just have a few questions. If you and the captain would be amenable to coming to my office, we can settle this very quickly. I have a few electronic documents I need you to sign for Terra, for my authorities back on Terra, and then we'll have everything sorted out. You can get back to your ship and back to your enjoyment of all of the things that are available here at Cymbeline Station.
It's a lovely station. Can you hear me again? I lost sound on my headphones.
We can hear you.
Oh, it was you, Matt. Okay.
Yeah, I dropped out. Oh,
okay.
Now I'm echoing.
All right, Mr. Black. Did you say you, Captain? Did you say you stepped through?
Yes.
As you look back, you could see Miss Popov sort of raise an eyebrow, one Nordic eyebrow. Oh, this is interesting. You're pretty sure your shielding on your arm has occluded all of the more egregious things that you have in there, because they don't say anything further.
I'm not worried about it.
Okay. All right. If you guys will accompany me, we'll go into my office.
Okay.
Captain Black. He will. Miss Dubois says, "Follow me, please." And she begins moving this way, and I have to try and remember where the hell I put his office.
If I could walk
here it is.
that way, I wouldn't need the talcum powder.
Ooh. He got bounced again. All right, I'll move him over. So you guys follow her, and she begins to briskly. She just brushes past the security bot and begins heading over to some doors over here. As does Smitchy. Come, gentlemen.
Does it say airlock on the door?
No, it doesn't say airlock.
Certain death this way.
Not fall for that again.
I'm not falling for that again.
I'm not falling for no banana in the tailpipe.
1 fake airlock, shame on you. 2 fake airlocks, shame on me. All right, so she blows in here, and she's like, right this way. into here, and I had some lights.
Right. No area of effect attack. Okay, I'm moving over here.
No, the place seems pretty deserted, actually. So hold on,
I see a comfy seat right here. I'm gonna sit over here to hide my bruising.
Yeah, Smitchy comes around. Hold on, I can't grab him.
I'm definitely not sitting next to Captain Black with our backs to the door. So I'm taking a seat over here.
Over there, okay. Miss Dubois comes over here and stands next to this terminal over here, where she's like, I have the documents being prepared.
I'm in a narrow lace, Captain. What do you think?
All good so far.
Okay.
I got a bad feeling about this man.
Keeve is like,
short.
Keeve is like, gentlemen, you have nothing to fear here. I have two chairs right there. You're going to need to sign these documents personally. If you please sit down.
Well, yeah, I'm very comfortable in this chair. You know, I took a little bit of a spill on the loading dock earlier, and I just this chair feels a little softer on me than that your plastic taxpayer paid for chair over there.
I see. Okay, well, I will need you to stand up with the documents.
I'm happy to read every document you put in front of me.
If we want to talk about, like I said, I had a few questions first. If you could, and he consults the terminal. He says, Mr. Dubois, what was the first question? The first question was if they could give a description of the activity that occurred on Greenport Station on 2484-617 in order to determine, from a point of view of the comparative reports from Greenport authorities and the URSA ambassadorship as to the events of the day, and then compare them with the video that we have obtained. Oh, yes, that's right. So Mr. Jakes and Captain Black, if you would be so kind as to please explain in your own words what transpired on that particular day if you were at Greenport Station, the incidents that prompted the URSA to petition the TILA for an interdiction.
I'm going to start up, Captain. I'm confused, ladies and gentlemen. If you have the video, what is it you need us to confirm? You have clearly everything you must know about the day. What details can we fill in?
Well, obviously you're familiar with Greenport Station and their rather lax security measures on most occasions. We have partial video of a few incidents that seem to corroborate a variety of elements of both the Greenport and the URSA stories. We're just looking to complete the file, essentially. It's already been adjudicated because the videos tend to corroborate the Greenport story to a large extent. We just want to get your insight on it. Isn't that correct, Mr. Dubois? I want both of you to make a
perception.
Yeah, kind of like a perception check. So I forget what we use here. It's intelligence. It's an intelligence check.
It's intelligence on this, yeah.
So
yeah, it's intelligence.
I got 11. What does that give me?
That's +3.
Plus 3. Okay.
While they're doing that, I want to ask the rest of you, Wagner, Coffin, Mehmet. Yeah, what are you guys doing back at the ship? Because remember
they're getting the signal, right?
You can see that they're in that.
I just rolled snake eyes.
Oh God. Okay.
Oh no.
Excellent.
This is why you're here.
I know. I'm so.
This is your thing.
I know. Well, maybe there's a glitch in the system after being shot twice. Not that I'm pointing any.
You're gonna open with that, or
Doyle does? What's that?
You're gonna open with that being shot twice? I mean, is that the story?
No. I'm not leaving that off. I'm only through the neural net, but I can't even do it to Doyle because he's not on neural net. So.
What about you, Captain?
Doyle, you got to get on neural net so I can control you effectively. Good Lord. Do. Seems totally legit. Do we have any key points to be able to burn here? Or chi? All right. So, what is it we can fill in for you that you don't feel you know? Unless you'd like to share the video with us and we can fill in the missing parts, I would say that we can fill in anything you might need.
Yeah, that was just to see what I would have rolled.
Okay.
Dear Lord.
Go ahead and rub it in.
Do I have any feelings about these two that's making me a little sus?
Well, you do. So give me another intelligence check.
Oh, thank you for the pity intelligence roll again. Oh, good Lord!
We're matching each other perfectly.
I have rolled nothing but I have not rolled over a 3 in 4 rolls.
All right. Well, basically, Smitchy is like, well, obviously, we want to be as comprehensive as possible. I assure you, you are no, particular legal trouble. This is only a formality, but we want to have as comprehensive a case file as possible. When there's an international or interstellar incident of this sort,
of course.
And the Ursay, obviously, a new spacefaring race to whom we want to give every opportunity to demonstrate their fundamental both willingness and capabilities in becoming one of the spacefaring, one of the members of the spacefaring societies. We want to make sure that whenever there is a controversial incident, such as the one that occurred on Greenpoint on 6/16/2084 or 2484, that all particular points of view are represented in the case file.
I've come around the desk to take close attention to whatever documentation he's trying to show us. I did want to throw at least a mercy ask out there. If the people the rest of the ship is watching via our neural net, any chance that they can have any?
That they can roll better than a 6? I would hope so.
Yes. Good Lord.
Just ask him. Okay, so obviously you brought us here after hours. That's clear. Can you just be honest with us about why we're here? We are Terran citizens, after all.
Ooh, put them on the defense. I like it.
At which point you see Smitchy's eyes sort of flicker towards the door, and a man in the black armor of the Terran Legal Authority security forces comes in. You see others also similarly garbed outside the door. Smitchy, I will take it from here.
Oh, good. Maybe somebody will finally actually start telling us the truth.
My name is Captain Remsevere. I am from the Terran International Legal Authority, and I am hereby placing you, Captain Jet Black, of UV SETI citizenship under arrest by the power invested in me. As are Mr. Jix, Mr. Weber H. Jix. You are also hereby placed under interdiction and arrest. You will accompany us as we go to the Gin and Tonic and put under arrest, and he looks at the thing, one Coffin L. Doyle, one Dr. Milagroso Wagner, and one Mehmet Tam, all of whom are currently crew of the Gin and Tonic and are now placed under arrest. You will come with us.
I'm going to put my biggest crocodile smile on as my hand is obscured against the wall there to slowly put it on my body pistol.
Well, Smitchy gets up out of the chair and begins moving away from those guys.
I'll keep moving with Smitchy, my good buddy. But I'm going to say, so what is the charges you're looking to place us under arrest on there, Captain?
The charges will be explained to you once you've been transported to Terra.
Nope. That's not going to fly. I'm acting in my own legal defense in this particular case in this room, and you're going to have to show some sort of writ or rationale for this. You are not on Terra. You are in the Cymbeline, or wherever the hell we are.
We are in the Cymbeline, and we are in the Salamini cluster. I have 2 security bots outside. You will submit to legal authority, or you will face additional consequences of obstruction of justice, resisting arrest, and I cannot be responsible for the horrible, horrible beatings you are likely to serve.
Well, I would say that, I would
hey, Les?
Yes?
It can't be any worse.
I was just kind of like half monitoring what was going on.
Yeah, you're hearing all of this.
While I was working on my logs that we've talked about. As soon as I heard that,
working on a log, eh?
As soon as I hear that, I get out of the spaceship and change into my Gawker.
Okay. So you actually exit the ship.
I leave the ship.
All right. All right. Coffin,
Captain, how are you feeling about this?
You and Dr. Wagner, I don't know, are you in your own quarters? Are you resting or anything like that?
I'm in the med lab.
Okay.
Med lab, yeah.
You also heard all this.
Yeah, you guys would be hearing about this. What you wouldn't know is that Tam has left the building.
Gawker has.
Gawker has.
He just grabbed his go bag and went. So Captain, how are you feeling about this? This seems like a lot of bullshit to me.
Oh, it's absolute bullshit.
The guy next to you, Captain, says, pulls out a pair of flexi-cuffs and basically says, "Hands out, sir."
You're not touching the asshole.
Yeah, I would say, like, if you watched any part of the Green Print footage, you would know that the Ursay tried to abduct us not once, not twice, but at least 3 times, dead or alive. So that there's no.
Are you threatening a TILA security apparatus executive with violence?
I'm saying you're laboring under the delusion that we're going to come quiet.
You keep compounding your already egregious crimes. Once you have arrived in Terra, I assure you will give an adequate legal representation so as you face all of the crimes that you will be accused and ultimately convicted of.
That's the Ursay.
How do you want to play this?
It'll be a fair trial before you're convicted.
What is the equivalent of initiative in this game?
It's initiative.
Yeah, but what is it? Is it Dex roll?
Your Dex
it's
bonus.
Dex, yeah, your Dex bonus.
Okay, so we should probably roll.
Are we rolling? Are we jumping in? Are we fighting?
Apparently, our DM has decided this game is going to end one way or the other tonight.
Can we do? I know a guy
dead,
who can
or we
vouch
can
for
be in
me.
jail. I don't care which.
All right.
I'm just give it one more contract. Who's your commanding officer? I know a lot of guys.
I know a lot of guys. So Coffin, you can definitely hear and see this. Basically, Gin is broadcasting to you guys via the local network.
I think Jack set us up.
Everything that they are basically facing basically what looks at it. Smitchy, read the charges.
They knew the actual crime.
Read the document, and then a new document comes up on the thing, and it says Jet Black, Weber Jix, Coffin Doyle, Milagrosa Wagner, and Mehmet Tam. You are hereby notified that you are in violation of several tenets of the Terran Interstellar Legal Code, including but not limited to sections 4723.4, gross bodily harm, multiple jurisdictions, 5821.2, theft of property over 1 megacredit, green pernt, 7745.9, eluding lawful commercial taxing bodies, multiple incidents. 3226.8, possession of prohibited weaponry, multiple incidents. 12054.0, unlawful modification of an artificial intelligence. And in light of your rights under the Terran Interstellar Legal Authority, Codicilia Justia, pertaining to the rights of accused sentience, you are hereby taken into custody for your own protection until such time as you may appear before a system magistrate. You will be transported at TILA cost to the TILA Regional Administrative Station at Proxima Centauri. Mr. Black, your vessel will be transported with you by a TILA crew, during which time a TILA warrant will be executed on the vessel and its intelligence systems. You will be provided with legal representations.
That is going to happen. Either I'm going to die or all of you are going to die. I've already rolled my dice. I am shooting now. Whoever's speaking, I am shooting him.
Okay, so you just pull out a gun and shoot.
My arm is armed.
I don't feel very. I honestly don't know if these are super bad guys, but I don't feel like causing fatalities if I can help it. Okay, let's do this.
And you rolled a 9 to hit, so you're basically shooting the captain?
Yeah.
Hey, Butch. Butch and Sundance. I just want to let you know it's the Colombian army outside.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. We're either dying
Bolivian.
or we're
the whole
going
Bolivian
to jail
army.
in Terra. I really don't care which it is.
Well, Proxima Centauri, not Terra.
Yeah.
I am telling you that I don't believe a word of what they're saying. It's clearly an Ursay plot.
Yep, it's the Ursay that set us up, and I'm not going to role play being a prisoner for the rest every Sunday, every one Sunday for the next year.
It's only one Sunday a month.
Shower you today. That's your role playing situation.
Yeah. All right, Coffin, armoring up. You can get there probably in 10 minutes if you move quick.
Starting.
Yeah, it'll be over one way or the other.
On my way.
Let's roll an ish.
Captain,
you already rolled initiative. What about Weber?
What do I have? Just Dex is my bonus?
Your Dex bonus.
So I have a 2 Dex, so
No, I don't have a 2 decks. That's the wrong one. Open it up again. I have a 8 decks. That's a even odds, right? But I don't have any pluses to 8, right?
No, yeah, that's straight up.
Right. That's why I was getting confused. That 8 is straight up. Okay. All right, what did I roll? Did I roll?
5.
Oh, Jesus. That's the second highest score I've had for.
I know you haven't been rolling very good today.
Jesus.
All right, Weberjick's got a 5.
Gentleman,
Coffin's
5.
got a didn't enroll yet.
9.
Tam got a 6.
How does he roll initiative if he's not even there yet?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what you guys are end up doing. Hold on, I gotta get your.
Yeah, it
depends on if you're. So you.
Time.
Yeah, we'll probably skip most of you, but as we go. But in the meantime,
I got to take a bio break while you get ready to shoot us here.
If you are going there, like Coffin, it sounds like is going to actually go to that place.
One question: do they look like they have lethal weapons to take us down with, or do they have like stun sticks or whatnot?
They have submachine guns.
Okay, yeah, okay, so it's on.
Well, and there's the security bots that are full of lasers.
Standing right next to civilians because I'm not feeling too charitable at the moment. Okay.
And there are the security bots, but those are outside right now. Outside the door, anyway. So these guys haven't drawn their weapons.
So my first shot goes first then.
Oh yeah, you get a surprise round. So hold on, I'm just gonna put these guys out here.
My rolls better get better.
I really don't want to be a Terran cop murderer here. That seems like a bad look for us, considering how far we went out of our way to.
Smitchy yells out,
"Gray area, good guys."
Smitchy yells out, "Gentlemen, please! There's no need for fisticuffs or firing of guns. If you'll only just submit to the thing, I'm sure that your representation at Proximal Centauri will be excellent."
We've got no representation from anything. What the Bears say, go. And you are all following the orders of the Bears, and we are not putting up with that anymore.
All right, so you shoot the main guy and roll 7 points of damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that isn't great, but it's not nothing. So, and that's what kind of pistol is that?
Personal defense laser.
Okay. Hold on. I got to roll these guys. All right, so you basically put a hole in them pretty hard. Hold on, let's get that. One second. All right, 7 for those guys. And then what's that? Hold on. I wasn't ready.
77?
Oh, no, not 77.
That's cheating. You don't have to be that blatant about it.
And then security bots. Ooh, they move fast, don't they? As befits a bot. All right, are we ready?
Uh-huh.
Okay, all right. You've shot already. That would be a surprise round because they didn't expect you to shoot because, it's they just want.
You're supposed to just go.
You're supposed to go quietly.
You're gonna have to rest me. I gotta warn you, boys. I'm a screamer.
All right, security bot goes here and cha-chunk, cha-chunk, cha-chunk. Captain Black, it's your shot again. As the security guys are desperately trying to unsling their submachine guns.
How about we just say, nobody move? See if we can keep them from unslinging those machine guns. Nobody move, nobody else gets shot. I have my body pistol already out. I'm covering the room like Bunny in Pulp Fiction.
When it's your turn,
that's another hit.
Are you still shooting people, Kevin?
He's shot. He's just plugged the guy twice.
That's such a Doyle move. Let's rock.
Yeah, that's big Doyle energy right there.
Big Doyle energy. I want a T-shirt that says that. That's awesome. BDE.
How much did you do last time? Hold on a second.
7 and 14 this time.
To the same guy. He's across the room from you, though. There's a guy right next to you.
No, it's basically shooting across the desk. That guy next to him is like, "Whoa, what are you doing?"
Everybody on the ground. I'm I'm going to try to diplomatically my way out of it and tell him to hit the floor so nobody else gets shot. I'd really not like to turn this not into a bloodbath, especially our bloodbath.
Okay. TILA security. All right. So they are going to unsling. So this guy's going to back out the door. This guy's going to back up. Let me.
Can I intimidate them to try to hit the floor and drop their weapons? Since we had to drop on them.
Okay. One guy moves forward towards Jix. He's got flex cuffs out. He's not loading. These guys back up. And this guy, leans over his commander. He's like, Captain, are you all right? As he's got now 2 laser holes in him. And he's making sort of like coughing noises. Coffin, you are kind of far away. 10 minutes. And Jix and Captain Black, you know that Coffin's on his way. You know that it's going to take him 10 minutes. You figure you got to get out of this room. Because either you got to get out of this room and hole up somewhere where you can wait until the cavalry arrives, or you got to kill everyone in the room.
I am not down for killing everybody in the room. I'm sorry, but I'm trying to black the Cap's play. What I am trying to do is use intimidate of whatever skill will apply to get them to realize that we had the drop on them. If they keep pulling their weapons, everybody's gonna die.
All right.
So I got carousing, interrogation, liaison, recruiting, diplomacy, and streetwise.
Streetwise.
All right. One moment, please. Please roll good. Please roll good.
Got it, Tam. And also got a coffee.
Oh, Jesus, come on.
You should re-roll because you had exploding dice going. That must have messed it up.
Accept a shipment of cursed monkey paws on
all right, so Weber, you yell at this guy. This guy's still got flex cuffs in his hand. He's a little confused as to what's going on because all of a sudden you got Captain Black backs up against the wall and starts, it's like, then I started blasting like Frank and Always Sunny. And so he's blasting. Miss Dubois is screaming. Smitchy is sort of vainly trying, please, gentlemen, please, this is the war room. The rest of them are unstrapping their submachine guns, backing away, helping one guy's approached you, and he's the one you're sort of talking to, and he's like stops, and he's got these flexicuffs in his hand, and he sort of like starts scrambling for his own stuff. But whatever you said to him, it doesn't look like it convinced them.
Can I bonk him on the face with the body pistol I have out?
Sure.
I'd rather do non-lethal damage if I can. Okay, what I still rolling body pistol? What am I rolling for that?
Yeah, hitting people with it or shooting them with it, it's the same bonus.
All right, cool. 1 second. God damn it. All right. Come on, baby. Daddy needs a new blaster. Well.
Yeah, it's a miss.
At point blank range?
You didn't shoot. You tried to hit him with your gun, and he ducked out of the way.
All right.
Hey, I didn't roll it. You rolled it. Don't blame me.
Roll I've made in 6 rolls.
Yeah, you've gotten a 1, at least 1-1 every time.
Yeah, that's not great.
On the dice, I know that the cursed monkey paw shipment is real.
All right, security bots are posted up. They are not moving, but you can tell that they have armed what looks to be 4 lasers and some sort of canister shot, and they're just standing there, one in the hallway and one out in the main room. Everyone else in the main room, I mean, you don't know this, but they've all sort of like bailed out. They're like, oh shit, the security bots fire up. They're out of there. Captain Black, you gonna finish off a cop?
I talk to this guy, say, hey, rent a cop. You want to help your buddy or do you want to get shot next?
All right, you got any sort of intimidatory skill?
I don't know, do I?
Intimidation time, buddy.
What skills do you have?
Let's see what I got. I got no, nothing like that. Admin,
Okay.
electronics, engineering, forward observer, navigation, pike, that suit. So just
Give me a straight up roll, yeah.
Okay.
Can't be worse than I've been rolling with my
Yes, it
pluses.
can. Never say it can't. Even the gods.
Oh, I'm sorry I cursed you.
That's all right. Just an attempt to get him out of the way the easy way. But you don't want to move. You don't want to turn on it. That was that wasn't my full turn.
Okay. What are you doing? He does not seem impressed at all with all that.
Well, then I take a shot at this guy because he's between me and the door.
Okay. Ooh, 10's a hit. Ooh, it's 17 points of damage. So that's a laser. He's bounced back against this wall. He's like, as his hit points continue to go down, and a laser pierces him through the abdomen, going right through his cheap ass armor. It's really just more of a uniform. It's not even armor. They don't even seem armor. You get the impression that these guys did not expect resistance, in any way. All right, this guy's going to try and shoot at you, Cap. So he's got 2d6 plus 1. Hold on, I got to check on SMG. He's going to let loose or single shot. Hold on a second. I think SMG is 3.
Hey, Matt, do you have the armor protection of our armor like handy, or I got to look it up, I guess.
I don't have it. Hang on a second. Let me pull it up here.
Because obviously it's coming.
Black shot first.
Definitely. Personal protection, page 10.
Okay, I think it's a single. I don't think it's multiple shots. Yeah, it's a single shot. All right, so they are going to, that guy's going to shoot at you. Ooh, and misses. Ping! Goes off of the wall. This guy is going to try and start dragging his captain out after the 2 shots.
Put some pressure on that wound.
This guy is going to back up and draw his weapon, and this guy is going to fire a shot at Weber and miss also. So whatever disease you guys have, it's all over the place. So, all right, Tam, you see. He's not there. Never mind.
I'm listening.
All right, Tam, you see You see you see Doyle about 100 meters up ahead of you in the way. He's got a big coat on, which is, and you can tell it's him because the coat is only like one arm in it. But you could also see the muzzle of what looks to be a squad level automatic laser rifle sort of dangling out the bottom, and he's kind of like limping across, at a fast walk, headed for what you expect is the same place.
Okay. As I recall, I'm wearing I can't open I was trying to open it on the web, but I think I'm wearing reflective personal armor or the T9 Diplo personal armor. I had the T9.
I think it was the Diplo.
Yeah, it's the Diplo, I believe.
Yeah.
That's what I was just looking up to.
Okay, do you remember what the thing is on it, or we need to look that up?
That's what I was saying. I don't have the catalog in front of me. The computer I had that had all that cool stuff melted, and I had to replace that computer, remember?
It's
that's right. That's right. 3.
Armor
And do you know?
Armor
and
3?
What's your armor, Dan?
I'm same thing. I'm wearing the same thing. So I got armor 3 there. I also have armor on my arm, but I don't know how much of that would come into play right now.
It's more of the shielding armor. It's in case there's damage or the armor gets crushed under something, that kind of thing.
Got it.
It's more like protecting the cybernetics mechanism inside. All right. All right. Captain Black, security bots are just posted up. They're not doing anything. Captain Black, what are you doing? And I still need. So I also need initiatives from Coffin and Wagner when you get a moment. This guy right here, the guy you just shot.
Okay.
The guy you shot the first couple of rounds is being dragged backward out in the hallway by this other guy. He's moving backward.
So I'm tempted. It's humane, but very risky.
Yeah, I'm concerned that these are legit cops that got sent in a bureaucracy way, and they're not really assassins. Yeah. What do you feel?
I agree, but
you don't want to come quietly either way. Okay.
All right, we'll give it a shot and hope that my good intent goes well. I go up to him and I hit him with the stun gun.
Okay. All right, let's see. Yeah, you do. All right, you just kind of go up to him and you get that stun stick right up against his chin and give him a zap. How much damage does it do? And I have to make
Sorry, I got to find that now in the catalog really quick. Hold on.
3d6.
3d6.
All right, but it's non-lethal.
Nope.
You can kill some. Well, isn't it? Yeah, it's non-lethal damage. It's knocking him out. It's stun stick. Yeah. I mean, if you wanted to kill him.
Oh,
wow.
Hold on.
Wow.
He has to make a click now to stay awake.
Yep. So, so he takes
based on the damage I did, which isn't great, but still.
So I have to beat that with his. What was it? It's the con one, right?
Endurance.
Endurance. Yep.
Otherwise, he's incapacitated, right?
Yep. Well, he's stunned. Basically, he falls to the ground.
Yeah, incapacitated. I like my word better. Why are you guys? We're waving guns around here. Shouldn't you guys be trying to find a hostage negotiator or something?
Endurance is 3.
Hold out sub friggin' machine guns. There's bureaucrats in here, for God's sake.
It's +2. Okay, so that's not bad. They're pretty tough. Well, no, they're not. That's
well, the
yeah,
+2
okay.
is almost guaranteed to make it. So.
Yep. So he's not stunned, but he felt that.
I again say, just go down, and you'll live through this.
He's considering it.
Yeah, what's his hero points here? Like,
well, I'm gonna see what he rolls here. Yeah, you see him. He sort of lets go. The submachine gun is strapped. He's hurt. He try to puts his arm up. This guy moves over to here.
Pressure on the wound, for God's sake.
This guy drags the captain out, and you can hear him yell at the security bot. We have violent prisoners in this office. Take every step you need to capture them. And he moves this way as well. And what's he gonna do? They're both gonna take a shot at you. At you, Weber.
I'm standing against 2 civilians. They don't have a clean shot. I would never take that shot.
All right. This guy. Yeah, this guy's gonna yell out to you, "Drop your weapon, sir! I must fire." Smitchy, get out of there! And Blanche Dubois is like, and she sort of
take a shot
like runs away.
Blanche? I don't believe your cops, you monsters.
And then this guy is pointing at you, but then looks over at Black, sees him shock the crud out of his buddy, and he lets off. He flips around over at you. Ooh, that's a hit.
Hooray.
So you feel a bullet hit you in the side.
So with a 3 armor, that means -3 hit points damage?
Yeah, whatever I roll here, it's going to be -3 off of that. So okay. 8 minus 3 is 1. Or 3. 5. I don't know what it is. I can't do math.
Math is hard.
However many you think. I don't know. I don't even know anymore.
Time and space.
Dan, I'm assuming you're trying to catch up with Coffin on the road to the authority.
Wait, what did you say?
I'm assuming that you are trying to catch up with Coffin, who you see about 100 meters ahead of you, moving expeditiously towards the authority.
No.
Okay, you're going to hang back.
No.
All right, are you going to keep following then?
No, I told you what I was doing. Look again at my last message to you.
Oh, I missed that last sentence there. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Weber. The guy's yelling out, "Put down your weapon, sir!"
I'm like, how about you first?
I'm Terran legal authority. I'm authorized to shoot you if necessary. Put down your weapon. You shouldn't even have a weapon.
Have we mentioned the point where bears have tried to assassinate me at least 4 times?
This is not a debate, sir.
I'm not putting down my... Well, let me think about that. I also have a stun stick if I'm able to drop my weapon, would I be able to pull the stun stick and make my move next round, or I'll just get shot because he's on overwatch?
Body pistol is a one-handed weapon. If you've got the stun stick handy, you could pull it and move it as a move action, and then attack. You could get close to him and hit him with it.
I will put the body pistol on the desk where I can grab it later potentially, and look like I'm putting my hands up, but I'm really secretly reaching for my stun stick.
Sort of like the old John McClane. All right.
Yeah,
so...
you didn't see the stun stick taped to my back of my suit.
I foiled your plans again. All right. So you are rearming yourself with a stun stick while pretending to disarm. Coffin, I'm assuming you are moving towards the office as quickly as you can, walking very fast.
Yes, sir.
All right. Round 4. The bots don't move. Captain Black. The guy has got his hand up and his submachine gun is dangling around here, but this guy just plugged you. This guy here.
Yeah, the guy at the bottom. Yeah. So I said, really, you're going to shoot? You're going to join in now? Why don't you just let the bots do their job? But I do shoot at him.
Okay.
Ooh,
that's a hit. 12 points of damage. He says.
And I move to here.
Okay.
You want to get your belt off and tie it around the old wound there. I'm being helpful.
All right. So
I've seen
against the wall. There's like a light panel there.
That's fine.
Okay. Okay. Security.
You want to form some sort of rudimentary tourniquet.
These guys are going to go in here.
You going for the light switch, Jix, or Black?
Yeah, maybe there's a light switch.
Those robots will never figure it out where we are once we come up.
Hey, it's dark. They must not be in there.
So, Captain Black, you see through the open door, one of the security guys, the one that initially backed out of the door, is going past the security bot. And you can hear him yelling at the bot, "Stop them at any cost! I'm going to go call for help!"
Get help works for him.
So what is that guy going to do? He sees you disarm. He's going to move forward with his flex cuffs. So he moves to here. Smitchy goes over here and is like, Mr. Dubois, it's going to be okay. The police will handle these miscreants. That guy, what is he going to do? Hold on. He's got a...
Hey, Smitchy, you brought this upon yourself, dude.
He's going to go here and take another shot.
Go with Black or me?
At Black.
Yeah.
You're surrendering. 7 points of damage.
Yoke. Not a good move, buddy. You got
Weber.
one way to get out of here alive.
Okay.
This ain't it.
All right, ye old stun stick. So what am I using for the the roll on that?
You use pike, right, Dan, for that?
What?
So it would be any sort of club or pike or martial, sort of melee weapons.
Cudgel. Except for streetwise, I don't have anything like that, so it'd be a straight up roll.
Yeah.
Straight up roll.
All right. Do I get any surprise round for?
Well, he's certainly surprised because he's got instead of a gun, he's got cuffs in his hand, which he's reaching out to you. So he seems underloaded.
Put my hands over here to get these flexi cuffs and hey, look, sick.
That's a hit.
Huzzah! Why
All
don't you just lay down and contemplate your career change?
How much damage?
Oh, what is that? It's a 3d6, right?
3d6.
Right. I was so impressed that I rolled something that I didn't bother to follow up. Okay. 9
points. Okay. The electricity goes off, and here goes this. He's still up. He's not stunned, but he is bashed. He manages to shake it off.
What? It's like the Terminator, this guy.
Coffin. Coffin. You've still got a ways to go. You're moving pretty quickly, though. It's gonna be a little time, though. You still need the 10 minutes to get there. And it hasn't been. It's only been a few seconds. Captain Black.
Okay, we'll try the stun stick again.
Okay, over to this guy.
Yeah.
That's a hit.
Guys.
11 points. All right, let's see how many he's got.
Can I request you get some stun stick sounds for some future battle?
I will do my best.
Add your Careless Whispers.
And then I have to roll. I have to beat an 11.
Make it like a bug zapper.
He's still up, but he's hurt. You can see him sort of stagger under the electricity.
And I repeat again, stay down and you stay alive.
All right, let's see how he reacts to that. Maybe. All right, this guy goes out here.
Kara forever. Goes crazy on you.
Those guys are in there. This guy sees an opportunity and runs out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This guy, what's he gonna do? He's gonna try and handcuff you. So let me see if I've got anything. Gambling.
Grip a little shaky at the moment.
It's a little shaky, but he's going to still try. He's going to try and slap the flexicuffs around you and try and cuff your hands.
-3.
Did not. He might have cuffed himself. And then this guy, I think he's all right. He's going to try and punch you. Or actually, you know what? He's got his gun in his hand, but it's too close to shoot, so he just takes it and he's going to try and clock you with his gun.
Nice.
But misses. You dodge out of the way.
Okay.
All right. Weber.
All right. Stun stick redux.
Okay.
Zaz.
Miss.
What, he's right next to me, though. Really?
Yeah, well, he missed you with the cuffs. You missed him with the stick. It's like a weird modern dance going on over there.
The forbidden lambada, space lambada.
Captain Black.
Okay. His health bar didn't go down, but I know.
No, it did. Yeah, no, he only has about 6 hit points left. The stun sticks are.
He's stunned.
He probably is. Yeah.
Okay.
If you can do more than 6 points. Is that did you roll a 9? That's a hit. Okay. Yeah. So you jam that stun stick and you're like, and he's like, and he goes down. But he is not dead. He is just simply stunned and unconscious.
I'm fine with that.
All right. All right. These guys, they are going to regroup next to the big terrible. What are you doing up there? Get out of there. Get out of there. Oh, yeah, they're going to go. Oh, they're going over there. Yep. He's going over there. Hold on.
So both Cap and I are just a side note. Both Cap and I are military guys, military officers from way back.
Yeah.
Among our other skills in our career path. Did this even seem remotely legit, or did it seem shady all the way around?
You mean, do you feel like that they have a legitimate order to arrest you?
Yes.
Yeah, it seemed legit.
All right. We're so paranoid. About the old bear assassin.
They're working for the Bears.
They're working for the Bears.
Somebody is. Now, they may have gotten orders from somebody else. Maybe Snitchy, maybe somebody else in the Terran Authority who wants to make this happen. But yeah, it seemed like they had regular authority to take you into custody. The last guy, what's he gonna do? He tried with the cuffs, missed with the cuffs. You missed with the thing. What would I do? He's gonna try. Yeah, well, he's watching Captain Black and just put this guy down, so he's gonna try with the cuffs. No, you know what he's gonna try and do? He's gonna try and knock your pistol off the table.
Okay.
Nope. Missed. Missed the table. All right. Weber.
All right. Third time's a charm.
Here we go.
I'd like you to meet Mr. Sparky, my friend, Mr. Sparky. Pardon me.
Oh, bless you.
Space sneezes are the worst. All right.
That's a hit.
All right. How would you like about 50,000 volts coursing over your heart? Huh? 10.
10 points. Okay. He is not happy. You can hear the shock of it going down, and he needs to make his endurance. Did not. So he goes down too.
If we're, I don't know if we're out of, no, we're not out of initiative.
No, you're not out of initiative, but you're not being, yep, you're not being fired on. So both of those guys, Smitchy at this point begins a litany of excuses. You have to understand, this was they forced us to act in this way. It was all a ruse that they perpetrated on us. I believe me, Mr. Chicks, Captain Black. This is unacceptable behavior. But I work for the Terran legal authority. There's nothing I can do.
I get you, Smitchy. I get you. Hey, could you come over here and put pressure on this guy's wounds? I'd rather not add murder to our litany of other crimes.
We're trying to make sure we don't kill anybody.
I'd rather not add fresh murder.
Well, neither of these guys are bleeding. Either they've been hit by lasers, which self-cauterize, or they've been hit by stun sticks, which are bludgeons, essentially.
All right.
Electrified bludgeons. All right. So Smitchy and Dubois is tantamount to fainting over here. Smitchy is making wild excuses. And he's got his hands up. He's like, look, it wasn't our fault. We did what we could. You know, that kind of thing. We tried to make them understand, but there was just the orders came down and they ordered us to bring you here.
No, Smitchy, who do the orders come from? Let's start there.
Oh, the orders came from my superior's approximate Sartari. It came through channels. There was no one specific person. He said these orders are what you gonna do? You also hear in this case, he's going back on.
Smitchy, might be good to get on the old phone and call off the dogs, because I can't imagine a combat robot coming in here is going to be good for any of us.
You hear the security bot say,
"You are under Terran Interstellar Legal Authority. You have injured TILA personnel. Prepare to be..." I forgot what word I was going to use. I'm not very good, sir. Not eradicated. No. Submit now, or you will be stopped.
Eliminated.
You will be stopped.
Yeah, pureed.
They're not going to kill you. And that big canister gun sort of wavers around, and you can see it. It's crowding the door over here, but it hasn't come in. Your guess is, who has computer skill? Jet, do you have computer skill?
Yes. Don't you have?
Or Jix, do you have computer skill?
I do.
I think he needs us in the room.
You're not there.
I have electronics and engineering.
I don't have.
Didn't Coffin carry me against my will?
I have all the social engineering skills left. I don't have any.
Give me an engineering check, Jet.
Not good.
Not great.
Electronics?
Yeah.
It's a lesser skill, but I might roll better. There you go.
You did, yeah, exactly right. Well, you weren't sure about engineering, but electronics tells you that your suspicion is that these bots are not allowed to come into individual offices, and so because he stopped at the doorway, and it has not come in. It's also quite big. The security bot, but your guess is that these bots are not allowed to come in individual offices. That's typical.
Does the doorway have a closing mechanism somewhere?
Yeah, absolutely, it does.
Where?
There's one on the desk. There's one next to the door.
Well, I will. If I have the ability to, I will press one on the desk.
All right.
Then Doc can close and shoot the panel or whatever. That always works in the movies. All you got to do is shoot the panel.
Of course, that is the only door in or out, so it doesn't really do much.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll just close the door for the moment. If he can't come in, then
door shuts.
Okay. All right.
And you hear outside,
"Please open the door."
Who is it? I'm gonna
it's me, the security bot.
I'm gonna disarm these two gentlemen and flexicuff them together.
Okay.
So maybe we have like two flexicuff. I'll just flexicuff their wrists left to left, right to right.
Okay.
They can be. I could have done human centipede on you guys, so you should be thankful that I was.
That's my
God. Matt.
They could have done humans. That's probably against the probably a violation of some element of the Terran legal code. No threatening human centipede. All right, so the door. So you got the controls on the door, and the door. If you've overridden essentially the outside controls, the bot, as far as you know, cannot get in. The other side of that coin is you've got 2 security guys in here who are essentially cuffed. You've got 2 TILA civilians who are cowering in the corner. Well, one's cowering, one's making excuses. But Coffin Doyle's on the way.
We're going to get a high body count when Doyle gets here, so I'd like to find a way to leave. Hey, Smitchy, it seems like in your behalf to get us a way out of here that doesn't get anybody else shot. What do you say? Are you with me on this one? I understand you work for the Terran Legal Authority, but you're also not supposed to be in the middle of a combat and have armed officers firing into a room with 2 unarmed government officials. Would you say that's probably a violation right there?
Well, I don't know a violation. There's been many. It seems there's been many laws violated both tonight and by your doings on Greenport. But that's not even for me to judge. I'm just here to.
I'm not saying our stuff. I'm saying the party that tried to arrest us. They definitely made some violations. Wouldn't you say?
I'm really not in a position to comment on that. I must, I must, follow out like the instructions that I've been given.
Hey, you look like somebody who read the standard code of conduct there. All right, fine. We'll do this. So I guess, Captain, I'll gather all. Since you're the one that hurt the worst here, I'll gather. How you doing? I'm going to gather all the weapons and pile them onto the chair behind you over here.
Okay.
So you have a supply to go from, and then if you could put both the police officers in the corner opposite of the desk here, like right here, where they're flexi-cuffed together.
Out of the way.
Yeah.
We're not using them as human shields, I think is what he's getting at.
Exactly.
Is that the 2 poles, human shield or human centipede? One of the 2? That kind
of. Choose wisely. Pick your poison. But if you just put them into the corner so they're away from the desk, but also away from anybody firing in from the door.
So like over here?
Yep, exactly.
Okay. All right. You guys still have net contact. You have neural lace contact with everybody but Coffin. Do you want to tell the rest of the team anything?
Oh, hey guys, how's your day going? Bear Assassins tried to finish us off, but we were one hit to them. And I'm feeling too good about this personally, but we could sure use an exit point. I don't suppose, Doyle, you got any explosives on you? You can blow a hole through this building. Oh, I forgot Doyle's not online. Get a cell phone, Doyle. God's sakes.
Exactly right, Tam.
I don't know what else to add to this shenanigans right now.
Let them know we've secured a room, but we're gonna have to fight our way out of it.
I'll go talk to the robot. That gives me something to do here for a second. It's like, I'd like to speak to your robot supervisor. Keep him busy for a while.
I am the manager, Karen.
Well, I want to talk to the manager of the manager.
Space Karen.
Yeah, I want to talk to the manager of the manager. Can you make that happen?
Come out with your hands up. This is a TILA authorized security bot. You must come out with your hands up, with leaving all weaponry inside the office.
Hey, you want to give me your specs while you're out there so I know how formidable you are before I open this door?
I'm very formidable.
Let's hear it. I want to hear. How many weapons you got on you?
I have many weapons that you don't know about.
Are you authorized to shoot unarmed civilians that happen to be in the room with me?
Of course.
That's terrible.
I'm a bot. I can do whatever I want.
You're supposed to have some sort of code of, of not shooting robots.
Oh, that Asimov thing? Nah.
Yeah. Nah. Asimov was a pussy.
That turned out not to be true.
Now I'm scared. Help me. Okay, so we put ourselves in a box there, Captain. I've done all the talking I can do to little avail. What do you got?
Well, I think we're gonna have to find out how tough this bot is.
Well, you wanna? I
Well,
guess. How about this? We just go ahead.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Dr. Wagner's in the ship, and frankly, I'm not. He's been monitoring, but he's still at the ship. He would know that Tam has exited the ship, and he wouldn't necessarily know that Coffin has exited the ship. But Tam could tell you guys that Coffin has exited the ship and is theoretically on his way.
Don't we have a super intelligent
But he still only has one arm
to do this for us and leave the doc alone? I mean, the doc can be on the channel, but don't we have a super intelligent AI that can be like, hey guys, I have cameras and sensors all over the ship. I can tell you exactly when in and out of the ship.
Jin could tell you that, yeah. So you could contact Jin and basically says,
I hope he sighs deeply when I call.
Coffin Doyle gathered up weapons and left the ship at a pace heading in your direction. Mehmet Tam stopped, gathered up a variety of supplies, exited the ship, and headed in a different direction. Dr. Wagner is still on the ship.
I'm assuming Mehmet Tam is starting a new life elsewhere now. Just burned his identity papers and like, I'm now Sally Struthers of space, and I am a mere fighter
in the arms of an angel.
Do I feel like I need to dash over there at a fast walk so I don't attract attention?
You know the captain. You can monitor the captain's health remotely through neural ACE, and you know that he has been injured, but he is not grievous. Well, I don't know. Are you grievously injured?
Maybe button up the ship because
it's got a couple of bullets in him.
Laser shots, right? Oh no, they were machine guns.
Submachine guns, yeah.
Okay.
I recommend you either exit the ship or you lock it down the ship because
guys, trust me, I got your back. I'm just doing it in a different way.
Okay, I know.
Trust you. Well, they mentioned that they were sending people to the ship to collect the rest of the team, the rest of the crew.
Well, that's what I'm saying is lock it down so they can't get in for the moment.
Okay, well, regardless.
Hey, Jin, can you arm the Death Blossom features while we're going?
Well, Jin has a variety of, well, Jin could seal it up. I mean, they're not going to be able to get in unless Jin lets them in. The problem is that potentially if they're Terran legal authority, so.
Star Trek was such an important part of my growing up, and the show was a huge part of that.
Who's that?
That's great.
Is that your channel?
Oh, so basically, but Tamba could tell you that, and Captain Black, you would know this too, that Terran legal authority has backdoors in all these AIs, right? So it's so when they build these for ships, they create when a legal authorization to take a ship is done, they can enact essentially force an AI to comply based on its programming. Now, to do that, they would have to present. They don't like to do it, so they would have to present. They would have to bring in technicians. They would have to essentially they would have to both electronically and legally force the AI to countermand the captain's orders, which the AI would normally never do. But they can do it. Your guess is that they probably wanted to collect you guys, walk over there, walk onto the ship, collect the rest of the thing, and then take over the ship and have you, by surrendering to the authority, basically give TILA access and command and control to Jin.
We went a different direction.
Yeah, but since you wouldn't do it, we went in a different mode. But since you didn't do that, they'll have to collect some technicians and stuff. But they can. It's possible. It'll just take more time.
I'll shout out there. Hey, Robot, you still there?
Yes, of course, I'm still here. Please open the door. Submit to legal authority. Surrender now. Leave your weapons inside. You will not be harmed.
Yeah, I don't believe you that we won't be harmed. And
I am a security bot. I do not lie.
Maybe you come back with a better offer.
Can I point out we're at time?
Oh, are we? Oh, okay. I thought we had lots of time left. Sorry about that. All right. So you guys want to stop at this?
Gives us some time to think about it.
this space Mexican standoff.
Yeah, like just as a side, Jick's doesn't feel good about injuring lawful citizens that are trying to do their job. But I was positive when that encounter started. This is another assassination attempt, but I got less positive as the encounter went on.
So we sort of fade to black. You guys, it's a standoff inside. You guys have your body pistols and your laser weapons. You've got the door, and the security about is come out. And in the meantime, you guys are looking over, and you see the lone figure of Coffin Doyle, one arm, trench coat, and an obvious immense laser automatic weapon stumbling towards you. You can see on his jacket, he's pulled a stitch again. The cut off arm is starting to bleed as he grimly moves quickly towards the legal authority things. As he gets closer and closer, he turns the corner. The building is in sight.
I hope he's got dong chucks.
And we end there.
On that note.
As a grim-faced Coffin Doyle reaches in, cocks the laser weapon, and then reaches over and makes sure his trusty spoon is ensconced in his mouth.
Les, I sent one final note if you...
I saw.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys, Jin will tell you that Tam is accessing a computer somewhere. If he doesn't know what's on there. Looks like want ads? Not sure.
I sent Les a note saying, hey, if I see any job postings for computer technicians hacking into a compounded ship, I'm going to apply.
Yeah, it says job openings with TILA. We need somebody to tell rogue AIs to comply with legal authority.
I got just the thing.
I'm just the guy for you. I'm your man, sir.
Honestly, when it kind of started, I wasn't thinking it through that it would really be a trap or some sort of actual introduction.
You guys literally said this is a trap as you walked in the door.
But I thought it was a bear trap. I was waiting for a bear to pop out of the woodwork.
Not that the Terrans were going to turn against us. There's another planet we can't go to.
I mean, if these guys knew the full extent of the crimes we committed over multiple systems, I can see them being so bent out of shape. But the stuff
I was going to say, when they listed all the crimes, we committed all of them.
Yeah.
It's like, here's a fine. You don't get arrested for that.
It's a fine. You guys have committed several killings across several different...
all in defense of someone attacking us. Every single one of them, we were attacked first. And if they have video, then they know we were attacked first in every time.
You know those videos.
Hey, Dan, Captain, when you break and enter into a place and they shoot first, it's still you shooting it.
They can't have video of that. They have video of that, then they also know the illegal shipping that was going on from the Earth side.
Maybe they're...
So we're working for some high-level people like Spoffilam, so you think that
maybe you've got rogue elements in TILA that are complicit.
Well, exactly.
This goes higher than
everyone seems to be on the Ursay side for some reason.
I think it's time to change the Gin and Tonic's name and registration to like Rum and Coke or something for a while.
That'll confuse them.
Yeah, they'll never see it coming.
Oh well, what ship are we leaving? Gin and Tonic? Oh, this is a Rum and Coke.
One ship completely disappeared. Another one just happened to show up.
It's an old code, but it checks out.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, good night. Talk to you later, okay?
All right. Thanks, you guys. This is awesome. Appreciate it.
Hey, you guys have a great time at Gen Con, okay?
All right, we'll do.
Thank you.
Good night, Steve.
Good night, gents.
Good night, guys.
Thanks, Steve.